Howdy, chat. How are you guys doing? I see all the sweet things that you're saying in chat, and you're gonna make me gosh dang cry. I just love you. Thank you for being so understanding. My excuses are terrible. It's worth. I slept. I slept and I slept and I slept, and I don't regret it. I'm sorry. I needed it. This past weekend, I look like garbage, but you guys can look at me. I have so many zits right now, and I don't know what, right here, like all over my mouth. It's telling me that it's a hormone imbalance thing. I have no idea. I have no idea what to do about these fucking zits that I have. It's crazy. But this past weekend was the anniversary of my mother's death, and I have been taking that a little bit harder these past couple years than I used to. And I just didn't feel like getting out of bed. Do you eat a lot of peanut butter? I do eat a lot of peanut butter. I do eat a lot of peanut butter. Is there something with peanut butter and zits that I need to know? If sweet things are going to make you cry, I can tell you not sweet things. Dang you, Doxy, for culturally appropriating my people and saying, how do you poop at? I'm from Iowa, you fuckface. Thank you so much, Rosie.
Bulletproof Rosie Sparkler. Doxy love, Doxy love, Doxy love, Doxy love.
You guys are the best. Did you just say you don't have a good reason? That seems like a very good reason. I feel like I should be better at dealing with that by now. You know what I mean? It's been a lot of years, and like almost all the time I'm okay. It's just on that day, the past couple of years, it's been really hard. I didn't know that you guys would feel this strongly about this. Yeah, it feels like I'm like dwelling on stuff I don't have to dwell on, and like I can, like, I should be able to let go. You know what I mean? Okay, anyway. Just thank you all so much for being so understanding and wonderful. Doxy knows the yeehaw ways and corn. Yeah. Fucking. Oh my God. D. Redmond, Dr. Edmund. I don't know what you prefer, but I love you so much. You guys, that's my basically brother in chat. Oh, I love him so much. Everybody say hi to D. Redmond or Dr. Edmund. I don't know which it is that you prefer. I'm so sorry. Dr. Edmund? I don't know. Worst basically sister ever. It took me like 10 years after my father's death to have a dream with him in it that wasn't a nightmare. So, you know, yeah. Either is fine. It's so good to see you. I miss you guys so bad. I've been real homesick lately. And I know that you guys aren't in Iowa anymore, but like it just like it makes me think of all the stuff that is home to me, right? Currently PC-less. I had a short Sunday night, and today is the first time I could take it in. Oh no. I'm so sorry to hear that, Dark Lord Snuggles. Hi, Quinn. Hi, Kyle. It's so good to see you guys. How are you? It's good to see you guys. I have some bad news. Everybody. Everybody gather around and get snuggly. I can't start the Bear Taffy Bear today. Because I slept and I didn't go get all the stuff that I needed to get. Please don't be mad at me. I know I said that we would start it on Monday and we didn't even stream on Monday, and now it's Tuesday and I'm still not ready to do it. I'm the worst one. I'm so sorry. So and I have no idea what kind of content we're gonna watch today. Dang it, slams chair through wall. No, I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, we are gonna, oh my God, Dixon Cider. It's so good to see you. How are you? Also, it makes me laugh every time you do something. I have to be like, oh my God, Dixon Cider. Oh my goodness. Did you mean to say bear news? Zombie Broccoli, I do think that this is a good... what am I fucking saying? Oh my God. You can't watch Nexpo? That's fine. We won't do Nexpo today. We might do the ballerina shirt. You guys can help me decide. I did get my hands on a proper knitting cable. And I've been practicing. I don't remember which one of you it was that recommended the continental style of knitting to me. But I've been practicing that. I'm getting more comfortable holding it that way. And my crochet does not, or not crochet, my knitting does not look much better yet, but I feel like it will. Yarn dildo. I'm sorry, cable needle. Knitting cable? I meant to say cable needle. I got a cable needle. I am a little bit high. I am a little bit high and I'm a big dumb Dumbo. Yes, a cable needle. This is the cable needle right here. It's for knitting cables into your projects. Just a little. It is just a little. It is just a little. It's just a little. Anyway, so I thought that maybe we could look at some fun cable patterns that we could maybe try to do so that I could improve my knitting. That needle looks like a weapon. I feel like it looks like a really obnoxious septum piece. Am I crazy? Or a mustache.
What do you awful women want?
Red_rave_ and hosting with 2 viewers.
Red, Rave, N. Thank you so much for the raid. That's really, really nice of you. What do you awful women want? Like, seriously, what do you awful... We're misogynists around here? No, I'm just kidding. We're very... we're very accepting of all walks of life here in Doxy Chat. My name is Zero Doxy. I am a trash queen. Just an absolute dumpster fire of a human. There is no redeeming qualities. But you are super, super welcome here. And thank you so much for the raid. That's really nice. She's gaslighting us. She hates women. Listen here, you little bitch. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's a needle for cables. A cable needle, if you will. Absolutely, Kyle Young. Absolutely. Okay. So, are you guys okay with that? Because that's kind of what I feel like. That's kind of what I feel like doing today. Is we can look for like we'll Google together and find a pattern that suits us all, that everybody reacts to. And then we can look at my just YouTube For You page and we'll steer oh my goodness, I can't speak. We will steer clear of any Nexpo, but we will look at what appeals to us there. It's called gas lamping. Gaslighting isn't a thing. Stop making up words. It makes you sound crazy. Oh, fuck. Dude, no. That is legit the way that it felt to be with my ex. Okay, not my most recent ex, not Rocket Lobster. I hope you guys never think that I'm saying mean things about Rocket Lobster because there is nothing mean to say about him. He is a wonderful angel boy, and everybody should love him. I know where to find a free ghost crochet pattern if that is something you want to make. I would love if you would either tweet that at me or join the Discord because I can't open links while I'm streaming. It's a thing. Is that what the kids are doing nowadays? Googling together? Yes. Also, Ma, thank you for looking out for me. I don't mind if I do. Let's go ahead and hydrate, everybody. Hi, like biker. I see you. Hello. Okay. I am going to... Are you guys cool with that? Can I just get like 4 yeses in chat? Anybody that agrees that this is a good plan, just say so. Okay. 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 All right. It looks like people are pretty into it. Hobby has lots of free patterns, and that's where I found it. Okay, sick. I'm definitely into that. But for today, I feel like practicing my knitting with this cable needle. Also, why do I have so much fucking parsley? Yo, have a lot of salads. I caught something that Expo missed, which was questioned in his comments, so I answered there. I left your videos playing on random in background noise, and that one came up, so I kind of caught it without trying. Well, by all means, please say. And then here we go. Here is our Reddit time. Let's see. Oh, it just now brought in the host sound. That scared the fuck out of me. I'm not going to lie to you. But I mean, thanks again, Red Raven. Appreciate you. Is the plan to get money to go to Tahiti? Nice. Fuck. I have ADD so bad. Jeez Louise. I need to fucking chill out. Give me a second here. There's a really cool Lion brand. A really cool Lion brand sale going on. Also, Red Raven, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it very much. That is amazing. You know that feeling that you get when you have something stuck in your teeth and you're like, I'm not going to use a toothpick. I'm not going to use floss. I'm going to get it out using just sheer will and my tongue. And you get it. You finally get it. That's the feeling I just got from you following my channel. Thanks a lot for being my sweet relief. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's go ahead. I will capture Microsoft Edge because that's what we're using. I'm not even sorry. I like Microsoft Edge. I like it. I use Chrome for my like personal stuff, but when we're doing stream, I use Microsoft Edge. Hi, Ducky. How are you? It's good to see you. I don't know why all of a sudden all of my alerts are wrong and doing that like scary sound. I don't know why that's happening. But I will look into that tonight after stream. I really apologize. I don't know if like somehow something got rolled back on Stream Elements or what. Gotta put urine in the toilet. That's such a good place for it. That is such a good place for it. Oh, no says the sink is better for that. It saves water. It was Felix that lured Rosemary to the back rooms to be killed. The picture with Sophie and Bon when she was the uniform comes from the relocation project, which is likely when Shaw the Sheep asked Sophie, "Where am I?" I would have to rewatch it, but I fully believe you. That's interesting. Okay, so... free, easy, cable knit pattern. Woo, I just punched my microphone. I'm so sorry. And let's find something fun and pretty. Oh, also we need to make sure that it's minus site Pinterest because fuck that shit. God, Pinterest makes the world a worse place. Actually, I bet if you know how to use Pinterest, it's fire. I bet it's dope as hell. But for me, an old person, I hate it. I hate Pinterest. All of these are looking pretty well the fucking same. Pinterest used to be a lot more user-friendly. Now it's a minefield. It's awful. I fucking hate it. It's awful to me. I don't mean to yuck anybody else's yum. If you love Pinterest, you are fully within reason to love Pinterest. I just fucking hate it. Okay, well, I feel like a couple of these are like a lot simpler than I'm looking for. Like, I definitely want a big chunky cable. This one is pretty interesting here as well. I know we're going to have to start over like 1,000 times. I know that's going to be the case. I know that's going to be true because I am just not good at knitting yet. This is what I started to learn cables on, but I can move past this now. I think that this might be what we're looking for here. I think we might want to do this. It looks like you do 4/4. But I can't be certain. I really love this one, but I don't know. I can't knit in the round. I can't knit in the round, guys. You use Ravelry for patterns nowadays. Let's look at Ravelry. I do love Ravelry. The only thing is I don't have money to put towards it right now. Just go to Ravelry and we will log in, and I fucking love this website, and we will advanced search for patterns. Easy cable. It can't be in the round. Excuse me. Yeah, I feel like all of this stuff is going to be in the round. I would be able to knit socks, I think, with just needles and a cable needle, but I don't think I'm good enough to do socks yet. Socks are way tougher than you expect. I will see what Hobby has in terms of cable projects. I'm looking purely for like scarves, like just straight up and down projects. I would love if anybody has anything that they want to show me. I'm super into it. Just tell me what to put in here. If there's anything in specific. Finally found a tall sock pattern that fits you. That is really exciting. Oh, but it's paid? Oh, no. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I feel that pain. I cannot afford... When there are free patterns to be had, I can't justify spending money on a pattern right now. I love this one. I would love so much if this led to a scarf that has this pattern on it. This is moving so slow. Tall sack, yeah. I can't talk. I would not be able to do this. No, I wanted a scarf to match. Dang it. Dang it. I think that this is just the most beautiful pattern. I love that so much. It's got a really high clarity rating and overall rating, and the difficulty is way down here. It doesn't say what materials you need. We could try this if, Hi, Alpha Pine. My week has been, no, I had a garbage weekend. I'm not going to lie to you. I just slept pretty much the whole time and was sad because it was the anniversary of my mother's death. And chat is just now telling me that that's normal and okay for me to like take some time off during that. And I was just feeling shitty about like needing the extra time. I didn't feel great about it, but chat is gracious as always. I think we're just gonna do this one, guys. I think that this is just the way to go. It seems so simple though. But maybe that's what we want for on stream, especially since I smoke way too much fucking weed. Hello? Fucking hello? Can we go to there, please? What just happened? I hate Bing. No! Go back to pattern? No! Golly, my belly's upset too. Ugh. Everything's a mess. Kals, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Dusk_Shadow_Fox Sparkler. Captivating Shazero's gifted a tier 1 sub to Dusk_Shadow_Fox.
Thank you. I do not feel good. I don't feel good. Okay, this is fine. Everything's fine. Look at how big and chunky that is. That's so pretty. I love a big chunky scarf. This one's really loose and pretty. I feel like that would be really gorgeous if I had the right materials for it. I know I don't, though. And I don't want anything crazy like this. I love this one. Why come it no? I'm so upset that that got removed. I think we're just gonna do this one. It's so fucking simple, but we probably just need simple. Hopefully you'll fart and feel better. I tried. It didn't work out. Okay. Are you kidding me? Why is it so hard? Is it because Bing? Is it because Bing? Google. And also I want to make that my default search engine really fast. Hopefully I don't dox myself looking at settings here. Hydrate? Absolutely. Don't mind if I do. Thanks for looking out for me, Safi. I appreciate you. Where is default? I want to change my default search engine. Hello? You have to be kidding me. Am I fucking crazy? There we go. There we go. This is what we want. All right, let's see if that works. Cable knit pattern easy free. Excellent. Excellent. Why are we getting different? I just want to find the thing I had. Guys, I'm sorry that I'm all the way a mess all the time. I'm so sorry. Also, I just realized I haven't been able to see YouTube chat for a hot second. Fun fact, GameStop is going to have PS5s on the 23rd. I don't know if they have GameStops in Maple Syrup Land, but anyone else looking for one, I will not have the $500 I require. To purchase a PS5. I wish I did. I've never tried Microsoft Edge. What do you enjoy about it? I use Firefox mostly when I streamed, use less RAM. I like Edge also because it uses less RAM, and it's pretty user friendly for the most part, even though like I know that everything about me screams needs user friendlier. It is pretty easy for me to figure out how to do whatever I need to do with it. And it doesn't have the memory leak problems that Chrome does. I forgive Chrome. Don't get it twisted. I like Chrome and I use Chrome for my personal browser. But I like having a separate browser for what is shown on stream so that you guys can't accidentally see what kind of weird ass porn I watch and stuff. From search completion stuff. And whatever. I am so beyond frustrated that same stuff isn't showing up, but to be honest, it's probably because that shit got taken down and Bing is just not as good of a search engine as Google is, and it's like returning old results that no longer exist. That's so pretty, and there's no way that I'll be able to do that. Not yet, anyway. I will eventually, for sure. Hi, Zeppelin. How are you? It's good to see you. Doing some mad farts in the supermarket today, but of slightly upset tummy. I feel bad, but I had to. And don't feel bad even remotely about human processes. Like if it's really rank and awful and like you're in a confined space, I can understand being like, I'm sorry about that. But like, don't ever let that shit make you feel too bad. All the humans do it. All of them. Except for me. I've never farted in my life. Fly high, lesbian seagull. Is this what we're after? I think this is what we're after. For the love of fuck, just show me a picture that I can click on that will take me to a fucking, like, yeah, give me this. I want to do this, please. Why it doesn't take me there? Hello? There isn't a link. What is happening? Sperry, is terribly clever. I am so frustrated that it is this hard to just find a pattern. Like, why is this happening to me? Sperry has proof. You don't even have to challenge her. She's going to provide it, I'm sure. I am into into this one. I like this one. I am sorry that, hold on one second. Okay, I don't know what C4... Oh, back and front. It's saying back and front instead of left and right. Okay, so our special instructions, pattern notes. All cabled stitches are knit stitches. Slip 2 stitches to cable needle. Hold the cable needle to the back of the work. Knit 2, then knit 2. If you run out of yarn, don't panic. If you are making the scarf, it won't be noticeable if you need to cast off somewhere mid-repeat. If you are making the cowl, place the buttonholes in the reverse stocking stitch section about 3 lines. Yeah, I'm not making the cowl. This is pretty easy. I actually taught myself how to read these, and it was the best decision of my life. Okay, slip 2 over to cable needle, hold in back, knit 2, okay. And then C3 over 3. Why? Okay, the only thing that is bothering me is it doesn't say that. It says C4B and C4F. C6F. Is 6 just 3 over 3 and 4 just 2 over 2? Because that makes sense. Oh, right here. Slip 2 stitches to cable needle, hold the cable needle to the back of the work. Yep, so it is. It is that. Doxy makes everything harder. You're not wrong. Okay, I'll give this pattern a try. Let's give this pattern a try. And now we have to go to YouTube and find what we're gonna fucking watch today. Does anybody have any special requests? White Shield, thank you so much. I don't know why it's doing the scary. I don't know why it's doing that.
41 months been a very long time.
It has been a very long time. Thank you so much, White Shield. It's good to see you again. I'm happy to be seeing more of you again. This is cute as hell. That's cute as hell. I definitely want to make that. I feel like we can do... Morbidology is rarely too heavy for us. Okay. Good night, Dragon Rana. I hope that you feel better soon. Talk to you tomorrow. I've been busy with getting things all ready for the move. Don't feel like you owe me any kind of explanation or anything, because you don't. I'm just happy to see you, bud. Hilarious. I watched this, by the way. It covers everything. All right, yeah, I think let's do morbidology. But first and foremost, I'm so sorry to already do this. My belly is so upset. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and see if I can't get myself feeling better real quick. Everybody hang tight. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Howdy. So sorry, guys. My tummy is not having a good time. The show must go on. You know, it was a genuine shit or get off the pot moment, and we had to get off the pot. So let's make the most of it, and hopefully everything is okay here. I might end up taking another break in a little bit. But for now, let's just get to work. I have all of my crochet stuff here. And by crochet, I mean knitting. And I think we're pretty well hot to trot. I'm just going to start this. I know you guys can't see me yet, but I want to get this going while I do all of the other like screen correction stuff that I need to do. So without further ado, here we go.
Did you know that in the last year alone, rates of anxiety and depression doubled in the United States? It can often take weeks to get a traditional therapy appointment, and these can be expensive. Well, Cerebral is an online mental health service that offers prescription medication, counselling and therapy for anxiety, depression, ADHD, insomnia and more. It's okay to not be okay. Cerebral is one of the few services out there to provide prescription medication online through a licensed provider, and they ship it right to your front door. You can message your
Reese's
care
eggs
team
are better
on
than regular
Cerebral at
Reese's.
any
Changed my
point
mind. I will
through
not.
the app.
They are. You're
have them
just
with you
right.
everywhere
Zeppelin
you
Zoso,
go.
you're just
You
right.
can schedule sessions with your counselor or therapist at any given time, and it's totally affordable.
Yeah, I refuse to
In
give up
fact,
cheese.
there's
I
price
did
of
give up
traditional
soda
therapy,
again.
and there are options
I
with
miss
or
Coke
without
Zero, and
insurance.
Coke Zero Starlight
Mobility
is
listeners get
fucking
65%
fire.
off
That
their
shit is
first month
so
of
good.
medication
It
management
tastes like
and care
magic.
counseling.
It's
Get
so yummy.
cerebral.com/morbidology.
Anyway,
Click the link in my show notes or
here's
go to
everything.
getcerebral.com/morbidology for 65% off your first month. That's just a
I
total of $30 to
am
get
gonna
yourself
get started here.
Join Cerebral today on their mission to make quality mental health care accessible and affordable for all. With Best Fiends, the fun never ends. There's currently
I'll be
over
right back one
7,000
second.
levels
So
and countless cute characters to collect along
I keep
the way.
smelling like
Best Fiends is a mobile
belch.
puzzle game available on the
And I don't know what
Apple
it
App
is.
Store
I'm
and
gonna just
Google Play.
very quickly
It's
go
bright and colorful,
mouthwash. I'll
and
be like
perfect for the
right
long
fucking
winter
back.
months, as well as a pick-me-up when I need a break during the busy holiday season. I'm currently on level 293, but there's new puzzles to solve each and every day. It's one of those games where 30 minutes really feels like 30 seconds. Best Fiends is super easy to follow and it's fun to play. It's a casual game that won't stress you out, and it's very easy to pass the time with. Download Best Fiends for free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R. Best Fiends. Welcome to Morbidology. I'm your host, Emily G. Thompson, author of Unsolved Child Murders, Cults Uncovered, Mysteries Uncovered, and co-author of Unsolved Murders, True Crime Cases Uncovered. Join Morbidology on Patreon for exclusive episodes of Morbidology Plus, exclusive merch, ad-free and early release episodes, and much more. In 2017, police in Perry, Iowa, received an anonymous phone call
Did you just say
reporting an
Iowa?
unresponsive
She just said
teenager
Iowa.
inside a home. When they arrived at the scene,
I have to
it
rewind
quickly
this. I'm sorry. I
became
didn't expect to be
apparent
gone that long. I'm
that this
an
was far
asshole.
more
I'm starting it
complex
over.
than
I'm
they first of all
sorry.
realized. And in fact, the teenage girl was the victim of prolonged abuse. It's a casual game that won't stress you out.
Okay, we're finally here. don't smell belch anymore.
Welcome to Morbidology. I'm your host, Emily G. Thompson, author of Unsolved Child Murders, Cults Uncovered, Mysteries Uncovered, and co-author of Unsolved Murders, True Crime Cases Uncovered. Join Morbidology on Patreon for exclusive episodes of Morbidology Plus, exclusive merch, ad-free and early release episodes.
Hi, Monstro. You would decide that it was time to come visit right as I was getting situated.
In 2017, police in Perry, Iowa, received an anonymous phone call.
Everyone's always get
reporting
excited
an
when we hear
unresponsive
anything about Iowa. It's
teenager
true. And I
inside
hear
a
stuff
home.
about Iowa all the
When they
time.
arrived at the scene, it quickly became apparent that this
Which
was
is probably
far more
not
complex
great considering the
than they
kind of
first of all
content that I
realized.
enjoy.
And in fact, the teenage girl was the victim of prolonged abuse and neglect.
Hello. The Catgo versus Briny case. I have not. Hi, Monstro.
It was the 12th of May 2017 when police in Perry, Iowa, received a phone call from a person informing them of an unresponsive
Okay,
teenager
let's cast on.
inside a home at 1708 First Avenue. It was the home of 40-year-old Misty Ray and her husband, 41-year-old Mark Ray. This couple ran a daycare out of their home called Rays of Sunshine Daycare. When the phone call was placed, Misty and Mark were not at the home. They were on vacation in Disney World. Upon entering the home, police came across the lifeless body of 16-year-old Sabrina Ray, the adoptive daughter
Got
of
cast
Misty
on
and
29, it looks
Mark. She
like.
wasn't unconscious. She was dead. She was wearing a pull-up diaper and a pink short-sleeved shirt. There was a thin mattress on the floor of the bedroom where Sabrina had died, and there were 3 potties in the closet. It was noted that the window was covered and there was a baby monitor-like camera in the room. Moreover, there was a magnetic-type alarm which had been installed on the door. Police had been called to the scene by Sabrina's cousin, Josie Boosman. The initial autopsy report would show that Sabrina was extremely malnourished.
I'm just going to do this as quickly
In
as I
fact, she weighed
can,
just
which means that I'm
56
not going
pounds,
to pay attention
which is around
to
half
whether
the
or not you
weight
can
of an
see it.
average teenage girl. As one responding officer said, what he saw in that home was the most horrific scene in my entire career and life. Perry Police Chief Eric Vaughan would provide a press conference.
Good afternoon.
Curious if there's
Thank
anything
you
on
for
YouTube
coming.
about that case
My name is Chief
you could
Eric
react
Vaughan
to.
from
It's
the
just a
Perry
really
Police Department. With
interesting
me is
civic
Ms.
court
Morfett,
case from Iowa. If
the
you find
Assistant
anything
Director
about
of
it
the
that
DCI.
you think that we could
I'd
get
just like
permission
to
for, by all
read a
means,
statement
send it to
for
me.
you First,
I will reach out
then
and
we'll
get
be
the
able to take a few
permission.
questions. On May 12th at approximately 6:30 p.m., the Perry Police Department and Dallas County paramedics were called to 1708 First Avenue in Perry in reference to an unresponsive 16-year-old female. Upon officers' arrival,
Okay, I'm
the
smelling
female
it
was found
again. What is that
deceased.
fucking smell? Why is that
She was
happening?
identified as Sabrina Ray.
It's really bumming
and she
me
was the
out.
adopted daughter of Mark and Misty Ray. Her parents were not home at the time of her death.
It
was
just
discovered,
full on
but
smells
since
like
have returned
stomach
home.
acid, like a really
3 additional
nasty
minor
belch.
children have been removed from the home and are under
Hip belt bag
supervision of
thing?
the Iowa Department of Human Services.
Like I don't want to attach one to
An
a
autopsy
skirt,
was
but this would
conducted on May 15th
do the same
by
thing
the
but
Iowa
removable.
Office
You
of the
should
State
1
Medical
million
Examiner.
% do that. I love
Although final
a
autopsy results
creative
are not
bag.
expected for a few weeks, pending further laboratory
My
testing,
purse that I have
severe
right now latches over
malnutrition
the
was
front of
noted
me. It's
by
really
the medical
cool. I like it
examiner.
a lot.
At the time of her death, Sabrina's weight was approximately 56 pounds.
The Iowa Department of Human Services would announce that the death was being investigated as a child abuse case, and both Misty and Mark were arrested, and 4 counts of child endangerment, resulting in serious injury, 3 counts of neglect or abandonment of a dependent person, and 1 count of child endangerment resulting in death was filed against the couple. Iowa Department of Criminal Investigation and Assistant Director Mitch Mortfett said that other charges could be filed against the couple depending on further autopsy reports. While Sabrina was noted during autopsy to be severely malnourished, further laboratory testing needed to be conducted. In addition to running the Rays of Sunshine daycare out of the family home, it also doubled up as a foster home. You can see a photograph of the daycare on the Vodacast app. Moreover, Sabrina wasn't the only child at the home. There were 3 other adoptive children, 2 girls and a boy, and none of the children were enrolled in school. They were allegedly homeschooled by the Rays. Following their arrest, the 3 other children were removed from the home. 4 of the charges that Misty and Mark were facing were in relation to the 2 other adopted girls, indicating that they too had been abused and or neglected by the couple. In fact, almost as soon as they were arrested, it was revealed that the Ray home had been monitored by state workers after receiving complaints about inadequate nutrition, as well as the use of corporal punishment. Following Sabrina's death and the revelation that the family were known to DHS, a number of Iowa lawmakers would call for legislative oversight of Iowa's DHS. In fact, Representative Abby
I know
Finkenauer
Legal Eagle had a
would
good
call
video.
for DHS Director
I
Chuck
love Legal
Palmer
Eagle.
to immediately step down
Someone
as
less
director.
well known who's done
Sabrina
something
had been
too.
the second
Legal
child
Eagle
under supervision
responds
from DHS
to my
to die over the
tweets
past
and
2
stuff a lot.
years.
I'm sure that if I
Back
emailed
in
him, he'd be
October,
responsive.
16-year-old Natalie Flynn,
I
who's also
can't
known
promise
to
that he
DHS,
would
had
be
been
like, yeah,
starved to
go
death
ahead and
by
watch
her
it.
adoptive
I
parents.
love Legal Eagle.
DHS has
I
been
think
met
that
with
he
much
is just a
criticism
great
over the
dude.
preceding months. Back in April, a Senate Oversight Committee investigation found that resources had been hard to come by due to the fact that full-time DHS employers had been declining between July of 2011
He
and
doesn't
July
like
of
follow me or
2016.
anything, but I just feel like that's
689
a good sign
employees had
that he's
left.
responded to me a couple
DHS
of
also
times.
had problems with rehoming, which meant that when a child is adopted, their parents hadn't realised that the child maybe needed an extra bit of care, and they had become unable to care for the child, and simply handed the child off to somebody that they knew, somebody that hadn't been vetted by an adoption agency.
7 more.
That same year, DHS had privatised Iowa's Medicaid health care program for those who are poor and those who are disabled. Understandably, many people, including healthcare advocates, completely lambasted the decision and argued that patients were being denied coverage and providers were facing problems with reimbursements. With the backlash against DHS, Chuck Palmer would announce that he was retiring. In a statement, Governor Kim Reynolds would state, "Chuck has been
Boo
a dedicated
hiss.
public servant who
Kim
spent
Reynolds
his
is
life
the
trying to
fucking
improve the
worst.
lives
I hope she's
of
having
Iowans."
a terrible day.
Jerry Foxhoven was announced as the new director of DHS. DHS would subsequently announce that they were going to be launching a full review
I don't
of
know
their
a single
process.
person who voted for her.
They stated that the complaints had been in relation to the daycare that Misty and Mark ran, as opposed to the care of their own adopted children. Adoption and foster subsidies are a well-meaning law. However, far too often this is seen as an easy income for people who aren't fit to be parents.
Can't hurt to ask.
Time and time again, we hear about children being abused and even being killed by their adoptive or
basically
foster
real life
parents
Jigsaw Killer, but
who've
a
only
civil
adopted
suit.
them
Oh,
for the income
shit.
that comes with adopting
Okay.
or fostering a child. For example, according to the North American Council on Adoptable Children, those who adopt a hard-to-place child, such as a child with physical, mental, or emotional problems, as well as children over the age of 8, receive monthly payments up to $900, and that's just per child. Abusive people can often see this as nothing more than an easy income to benefit themselves.
I'm an
as
idiot. We
opposed
need
to the
29,
child
not
they're
26.
supposed
Also,
to be
I just
caring
lost
for.
count by saying
Far
all
too
those
often,
numbers.
in instances such as
Very
this,
fun.
these adoptive parents then use homeschooling as a method to isolate these unwanted
You missed
and
most
unloved
of my
children.
response. I think you
It is
should
a
do
way to
it.
conceal
I
the
love
neglect and
unique
abuse
bags.
that is going on
I
back
think
at
that
home.
that is such a cool
You can
idea,
learn more
Moth.
about this on
The purse that I
Vodacast
have
app.
right now,
Lawmakers weren't the only
sits
ones
on
to
the
be
front.
moved
It
by
like sits on my
Sabrina's death.
belly and
It
goes
became
like
a rallying
around
cry throughout
all
the
the way
community of
around my
Perry.
back. I
Much
love
of
it
the community
so
wished that
much.
there was something they could have done to save Sabrina, and they called for change. A couple of days after Sabrina's body was discovered, the community would come together for a somber candlelight vigil in her honour. They gathered at Perry's First Christian Church and spoke of the girl that none of them knew, but the girl who deserved so much better than what she was dealt.
I
Daniel
really want to know
Beanshoff
why I am
said to
smelling
NBC
this. It is
News,
making me sick.
"This girl deserved somebody to show that they did care for her. You hear about things like this, and it bothers you." Meanwhile, in downtown Perry, the wall of
Like,
a building became a makeshift prayer wall
I feel like it
where
can't
people
be
could
my...
write notes. of
I'm gonna go wash my
condolences.
face.
It was
I'm
hoped
going
the vigil
fucking
and the
crazy.
prayer
I'm sorry,
wall
guys. I
would
don't want
bring
to fucking
awareness to the
barf
struggle
on
of
stream.
children who are being abused and neglected at home. A memorial would be held for Sabrina at the First Christian Church, and outside 16 balloons were released to symbolise Sabrina's 16 years on Earth. Her murder had left many in disbelief, and that was a recurring theme throughout the memorial, with one person stating, "This was a tragedy that happened to a young girl no one really knew, but we are all impacted." While it was evident that Sabrina was clearly neglected and abused within the home, the extent still wasn't known, and the community were still really struggling to comprehend what had happened. Afterwards, the community would organise a candlelight vigil at Pathy Park for Sabrina. Jack Butler, who helped to organise the event, said, "I thought, you know what, we need this." Those in attendance were handed either a Chinese lantern or a candle. A royal raindrop tree would be planted in Wise Park in honour of Sabrina. Amanda Howard had organised the Trees for Sabrina event, alongside two other locals, Brian West and Heather Watson. Amanda's own children had previously attended the Rays of Sunshine daycare. She stated, "I feel guilty that I missed the signs of abuse, and I play it in my head. I want to honour Sabrina because she did not deserve what happened to her." In a cruel twist of fate, Sabrina had allegedly been neglected by her biological father and stepmother before she was adopted by Misty and Mark. Her father, Joseph Bush, and stepmother, Karina Bush, had been charged with child endangerment. They would allegedly tape Sabrina's door closed, claiming that they had done so to see if she was sneaking out at night. A few years after this incident, in which abuse was unfounded, somebody reported that Sabrina had unexplained redness around her mouth. When questioned, she said that her father and stepmother had put tape over her mouth to stop her from licking her lips. An affidavit alleged that her windows were nailed shut and the curtains were stapled so that she could not look out. Sabrina would then be removed from their care. This is something that Joseph has strongly denied. He said that the redness was caused by Sabrina licking her lips all of the time. He said, probably she was embarrassed. She was telling them what they wanted to hear. Probably any child would do the same. Sabrina was considered a special needs child, and shortly after she was removed from her father's care, Mark and Misty took her in as a foster child before adopting her in 2013. Misty and Mark would plead not guilty to the charges against them and would request that their $1 million cash bond be lowered in the hopes that they could be released from jail before they stood trial. The judge said
If
that
I
he would
smell
rule
it
on
again, I
that
have
later.
no idea what the fuck else
During
to
the hearing,
do.
they would both waive the
I'm
right
sorry,
to
I
a
have,
speedy
like,
trial. Just a couple of days later,
I only
there
smell
was an
it
unexpected
every
twist
once in a
the
while
case
while I'm
when
sitting
three more
here.
people were arrested and charged in connection with Sabrina's death.
I don't
Investigators working on the
don't
case
know what it is.
revealed to the public that Sabrina had been left unable to walk, talk, or eat after she was drop-kicked down the basement stairs by her 21-year-old adoptive brother, Justin Dale Ray, weeks before her death. Justin was charged with 2 counts of willful injury and 2 counts of child endangerment. Justin was the biological son of Misty and Mark. Additionally, Sabrina's cousin, 20-year-old Josie Ray
2 more.
Boosman, was charged with abetting the abuse after she admitted to investigators that she helped injure Sabrina, helped keeping her confined, and denied her food and water. Sabrina's grandmother, 62-year-old Carla Boosman, was charged with aiding and abetting, kidnapping, child abuse resulting in death, and obstruction after altering evidence at the crime scene and providing false evidence. Misty and Mark were also additionally charged with 3 counts each of first-degree kidnapping. The additional charges indicated that this case was far more complex than first of all imagined, and that Sabrina had lived an absolutely horrendous life inside that home. It wasn't just Misty and Mark that abused her, but seemingly almost the entire family. According to investigators, Sabrina had suffered physical abuse at the home for an extended period of time. You can see photographs of Sabrina and the family on the Vodacast app. After the new charges were filed, a joint oversight hearing into DHS relating to the death of Sabrina, as well as Natalie, who I mentioned earlier, was scheduled. This oversight committee would be looking into how DHS responds to abuse complaints, as well as the adoption process. While announcing this, Vern Armstrong, who was the DHS division administrator, broke down. He said, "This hits us. Our people care deeply." He was testifying about the toll the 2 deaths had taken on staff at DHS.
2 deaths?
Lawmakers had reduced funding for DHS in recent years, and they had cut staff by almost
missed
15%.
something.
Firm would state that 80% of
yeah,
the
that's
recent
the way
reductions
that
were
has
due
to
to
go.
institutional changes within DHS.
We're not going to be
example,
cabling at
Under
all
the
on this
administration of former
row,
Governor
which is
Terry
fine.
Branstad, DHS closed a centre for troubled teenagers in Toledo, as well as a
now knit
mental
4.
health facility in Mount Pleasant, as well as Clarinda. 90% of the staff
Clarinda
reductions were
got
because
closed?
of budget cuts.
Interesting.
The main issue within DHS in Iowa were low staffing levels as well as high caseloads. There were also concerns over how foster parents are recruited and trained. Smartass and Sass offer the most unique and badass subscription boxes with the perfect balance of snark and charm.
Purl.
Each box comes with
Knit,
curated
purl,
products
purl,
that are
knit, knit,
bound
knit,
to
one
bring
more
a smile
knit.
to your face. From quirky doormats and cute decal stickers, there's something for everybody.
Now purl
Each
2.
box is curated and contains 5 to 7 items, including mugs, bags, cards, stationery, apparel, and more. Smartass and Sass is the perfect gift for that sassy and sarcastic woman in your life, or even for you as a treat. I've had 2 boxes so far. The first one came with the most lush perfume, a cheese cutting set, a cute hat, perfect for Irish winters, a coin purse,
1,
and some
2,
more
3,
class
4,
items.
5, 6,
The second
7,
one
8,
was
9,
right up my street.
9.
It contained
okay.
a shampoo and body bar, a makeup bag, and a detox bubble bath. It was the perfect box for a writer who needs to relax after a long day of writing about crime. Morbidology listeners get 10%
1.
off a first-time subscription with the code MORBID.
2,
Just head on over to smartassandsass.com or click the link in my show notes
3.
and use the code MORBID for 10% off. There's nothing more exciting than a classic whodunit. Well, this week's episode is sponsored by the amazing game June's Journey. It's a free-to-download mobile game, and you've got to find objects hidden within beautiful and carefully crafted scenes. June's
Six.
Journey
I
is
played
set in the
June's Journey.
1920s, and there's a real
Fuck.
glamorous feel to it.
I'm so bad at
You play the
keeping
game
my
as an
fucking
amateur
count.
detective
When my nephew left
who's
his bottle in the
investigating a
cushions,
number
it
of
smelled like what you're
mysteries.
talking about. It took me forever
Each
to
scene
find that damn
sees
bottle.
you involved in a murder
Uh,
mystery.
I
and you
really
get to meet
wish
some cool characters along the way.
that there was
Characters
anything that it
provide
could be.
tips and leads. What I love especially about
I haven't
this
smelled it
game
in a
is that
second,
it's super
though,
relaxing
so-
and therapeutic. But at the same time,
We'll
it
see. I wonder
truly
if maybe
tests
just
your
the neighbors are
observations
cooking something
and
that
keeps
is
your mind
not
fresh.
to my
It
liking.
really puts your powers of observation.
Hi, stuff
to
with
the
self.
test.
Just working on
found
knitting.
myself playing
I
this
got a
game
hold of
late
a
at night
good
before I head
cable
to
needle
bed.
here,
Ready to awaken
so I'm
your inner
excited
detective?
to keep
We'll download
practicing
June's
knitting
Journey
for
free
now.
today
I was
on the
unable to
Apple App
procure the things
Store
that I
or
need in
Google
order to
Play.
do the Bear Taffy plush, which I will be doing. I
Following a review,
promise.
Sabrina's
I just
biological
need
family
to
were
be able to
fighting
get some
have
stuff
her
first,
remains
and this
buried
past
in
weekend was
DeSoto.
kind of a rough
And
one.
Tanya
so.
Bush said,
All right,
"We've made all the
purl,
calls and we keep
knit,
getting
purl,
told
purl.
no, and we want to plead with the community. We are very grateful for the Perry
Knit
community,
1,
but we
2,
are her
3,
biological
4.
family, and we
Purl
want to
1,
put her in the
2,
family
knit
plot here
1,
in
2,
DeSoto.
3, 4, 5, 6.
They
We need to
needed
do
Mark
3
and
more.
Misty to waive their parental rights. These parental rights meant that Sabrina's burial was in their hands. Meanwhile, Justin, Josie, and Carla would plead not guilty to the charges filed against them. Justin's defense attorney would file a motion for a pre-trial mental health evaluation to determine if he could
3.
effectively assist in his own defense
And then
and if he
or
adequately
purl 2,
appreciated the
rather.
nature and circumstances of the charges.
Ugh,
In July,
I'm so bad
the new
at holding the
DHS
needles.
director, Jerry Fox,
I'm doing my best.
would reveal his
1.
proposal to improve the foster care system in Iowa. His proposal included requiring foster parents receiving subsidies
now knitting
from the
4.
state to take their child to a doctor at least once a year. If those health professionals who saw the child suspected that they were being abused or neglected, then they would be compelled to report it. When Sabrina died, she weighed only 56 pounds. It would have taken her a while to get that emaciated, and if she had been taken to a doctor, then they could have flagged it. He announced that there were also going to be increased efforts to remove bureaucratic and troublesome duties so that caseworkers could focus more so on managing their cases. He also revealed that they had hired a consultant to make recommendations on ways they could improve the system, adding that this would be made public.
Purl
once complete.
2, knit 1, purl 1.
The following month, Sabrina's cause of death would finally be publicly released. According to the medical examiner who had performed her autopsy, she died of malnutrition due to denial of care. Her death was ruled a homicide. It would also be announced that Justin was competent and would stand trial on the charges. The trials for all family members were scheduled for the 30th of October. However, that date was then pushed back until 2018. The reason for the delay was in part because the prosecution needed to collect pre-adoptive and post-adoptive medical records for Sabrina, and these records were going to contain several thousand pages.
Yeah, it's really fucked up what happened to this
Sabrina's
poor little
adopted
girl.
siblings were expected to testify, and they needed to be prepared because they were all minors. With the prosecution and
Okay,
defense
that's
preparing
row
for
one
trial,
down. Jeez
more information
Louise.
regarding the case would be made public. As mentioned, it had been Josie who called police
I
out
always
to the
end up
home
with
after
big
Sabrina
loose
died.
stitches at the end, and
She
I
had first
don't
of all
know how
called
to
her
fix
grandmother,
it. It's
Carla,
such a bummer.
who came
I
over
feel like
and
that's got to
attempted
be
to
something
revive
that like
Sabrina, but to no avail.
gets better with
Josie
blocking.
and Carla then called Misty, who was on vacation, with Mark and other members
I don't
of
know.
the family.
I genuinely don't know how
After
to
speaking
combat
with
that.
Misty, they finally called 911. However, before police arrived on the scene, they had removed a lock from the bedroom where Sabrina
Okay,
had
we're now on
died.
the wrong side.
After Misty was informed of Sabrina's death, she threw away the mobile phones of several members of the family. This indicated that the abuse of Sabrina was something that they had all probably spoken about
Sabrina is a
via
beautiful
text
name.
message, or even documented via photographs. Misty and Mark's charges would be elevated, and they would be charged with first-degree murder. In the charges, the date of Sabrina's murder was listed
All
as
right,
happening
so we just do
from January
kind of the opposite here,
2012
except for
to
during
May
the like
the
long
12th,
stretches.
2017. Mark was
We'll
also charged
be
with 2 counts
doing
of
our
sexual
cabling.
abuse for allegedly abusing another child that was in their care. It was then
Okay.
announced that Josie would be testifying against the 4 other defendants in the upcoming trial. Then in February of 2018, Justin appeared in court, where he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of willful injury.
All right.
In exchange for his
One.
guilty plea, prosecutors dropped the 2 counts of child endangerment against him. In court, he showed no semblance of emotion as he admitted to pushing Sabrina down a flight of
Throw
stairs,
one.
kicking her in the head, cutting her chin, and breaking her jaw.
Jesus Christ.
He stated, "That person was my sister, Sabrina Ray. I did this by pushing my sister down a flight of stairs,
Knit
and this
one.
caused bleeding to her head." He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. When announcing the sentence, Judge Terry Rickers
Knit
said,
2.
"It is the cold and cruel and despicable nature of what you did to your sister. I must also consider
one
the
is
devastating
going to
effects of what your
be
actions
front,
have done on your
2 in
younger
front.
siblings." At the time of the attack on Sabrina, her 2 younger adoptive siblings were there. While they weren't there for the sentencing, one of the siblings had penned a letter for Justin, which read, "Dear Justin, you have destroyed my sister and I's life with your actions. You will be receiving a wake-up call Friday. It's breaking my heart. We did not deserve what you gave us. Nobody ever deserved that kind of treatment." After Justin was handed his sentence, Mark would request that the trial be moved out of Dallas County. The motion that was filed claimed that there was too much media coverage to
Sexual
receive a
abuse to
fair
kids is
trial
probably the
in
most
Dallas
evil
County.
thing I can think of.
Misty and
It's
Carla would follow
it
suit, requesting a
is
change of
such
venue for
a
the trial. However, shortly
grave
thereafter,
reminder
Sabrina's
that we
grandmother, Carla,
need
would change her plea
mental
and
health
plead guilty to
reform
1 count of neglect
just in the
to a
world,
dependent person,
everywhere.
2 counts of false imprisonment, 1 count of accessory after the fact, 1 count of obstruction of prosecution, and 2 counts of child endangerment. Her defense lawyer, James Nelson, said, "Miss Boosman is accepting the responsibility today of pleading guilty to
I
what
think
she
that
is
killing
responsible
kids
for
is
doing.
worse,
We
but
believe
like
these charges, as amended, accurately outline the actions and omissions Mrs. Boosman is responsible for committing."
it's
In court, Carla admitted that
hard
she had
to
assumed
even
custodial
quantify
care
how
of
fucking
Sabrina
evil
on the
it is
12th of May
to
2017.
rape kids.
She said that when
It's
she realized Sabrina was
so
in
fucked up.
distress, she did not bother to call for medical assistance. Carla told the courtroom that on the day Sabrina died, she had woken up vomited, and then soiled herself. Instead of calling for help, Carla locked Sabrina in a room. In regards to false imprisonment, those charges related to Sabrina's adoptive siblings. They were identified in court only as HR and MR, and they had been locked in the room with Sabrina as she died.
Oh my
Carla
God.
admitted that before police arrived, she removed all of the locks from the doors and hid them in her car.
Bias due to personal
attorney
trauma.
Stacey
Personally,
Ritchie
I'd rather have
stated,
died than have my life
Miss
ruined. You cannot
Boozman
begin to
stood in the
comprehend how much it
position
messes
of
you up.
family
I actually
to these
can,
girls. They called her
because
grandma.
same.
She called herself
I
grandma.
am
Yet
very
she knew
glad
the
to be
conditions
alive.
in which these victims lived.
It sucks what
and
happened
she
to me,
chose
but
neglect their needs on that date.
I'm glad
rather
that
than
I
seek
can
medical intervention
experience
for
the
Sabrina.
miracle of the love of
Attorney
my boyfriend.
Ritchie
I'm
then read aloud a
glad
victim
that I
impact
can
statement
hang out
by
with
one
my
of the
chat.
adoptive
I'm glad that I
sisters
can
of
be
Sabrina.
creative. I'm glad
It
that I can
read,
smell flowers.
To Grandma Carla, I missed you. I love you still. I wish you would have told Misty and
I would
Mark
take
to
what
treat
I've
us
been
better.
through
I
1,000
wish you would
times
be
over
nice to
having
us
been murdered.
instead of doing what Mark and Misty say. I wish you would have taken us out to do things. I wish you would have taken Sabrina to the doctor on the day she died instead of sitting there. I wish you would not have lied to the police and say that everything was all right. I wish you would have said that you hurt us and that Mark and Misty hurt us and that Justin hurt us. I wish you wouldn't have been mean to us. I wish we could have been like other families and had ice cream together. Carla then provided a statement herself, stating, I wish I could go back to that day and change everything, and do what I know was the proper thing to do. I can't change what is done now.
Hearing their
but I'm
fucking
very sorry, and I
excuses
miss all
in
of my
court is
grandchildren
always
very much.
the.
And I hope for the best for MR
Oh,
and
wait,
HR,
wait.
and that they will
I
forgive
just
me
almost
for
fucked
failing
this
them
up.
when they needed me the most. Judge Rickers asked her,
Yeah, we need to
how could
knit
you do
these
that
next
to
two.
your own grandchildren? To which Carla replied, I feel like I was manipulated into a situation that I wasn't completely aware of what was happening. I wish I had intervened a little sooner and called 911
I
a few
wish
hours
that I
earlier,
had
but I
even
can't change that fact.
like one
Carla was
more
sentenced to
week of
20 years
experience
in
with
prison.
this because I feel like
In handing down the
it
sentence,
would not be
Judge
so
Rickers
hard to
said
hold.
that there was no doubt in
I
his
kind
mind
of I'm
that the maximum sentence was appropriate.
I'm tempted to switch to
Adding,
crochet. I feel
visiting
like
your
this
grandma
is a
supposed to
mess.
be a dream, but apparently in this case,
Trying to
contact
hold it
between
in a
you
way that
and
it can
your
be seen and
grandchildren
stuff.
was nothing but a nightmare.
AJ, how
Following
are
Carla's
you?
sentencing, more charges were filed against Misty and Mark, including ongoing criminal conduct, theft, and fraudulent practice. It would be announced that their request to move trial was granted, and it was being moved to Sioux County. They would then file motions to have their murder charge thrown out, but the judge would deny the request.
You
As
suck
they were
just
preparing
own
for
up to
trial,
it.
it was the
None of this
one-year
bullshit.
anniversary
I
of
support 3
Sabrina's murder.
convictions.
Her
Get your
biological
gender
uncle,
reassigned
David
by the
Bush,
authorities. We have
said
to
that
get
they were
these
still
predators
trying
out
to
of the
get
gene
her
pool.
ashes, so that
Oh
she could be
man, it's
buried
so hard.
alongside
It's
her
so hard.
biological
Right? Hold on.
grandparents.
I'm gonna pause it and address
The
this.
candlelight vigil was held near
This
the
is
bench and tree that was
an
planted
opinion
in
that
her
I think a
memory.
lot of people find very
Number of-
controversial for me to have. But I feel like the way that we talk about pedophiles is only inflames an existing problem. It only exacerbates it. People are so scared to go and seek help when they start to have these urges and feelings that they can't help. They don't want to have them. And I think that instead of encouraging people to get help, we make them feel like monsters over stuff that they can't really help, you know? So they are much less likely to go and get the help that they need and much more likely to offend. And I feel like if we stopped being like, yeah, kill/castrate all offenders, if we could start treating them like they are human beings who did a very terrible thing, like legitimately, I don't condone any of this or anything. Hello. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Linnaeus.
Linny's Cable Sparkler, hello lovely.
Hi, thank you. I just feel like the way that we talk about pedophiles in society it just makes it so much worse. It just makes the problem so much worse. I think that what we need to do is say, like, man, I admire you for your empathetic views, but pedophiles admit to not being sorry and say they don't regret what they did and even say they'll do it again when they're out of prison. I mean, some of them do. But most people that have these urges never act on them. Like, this is such a common thing that, like, you guys would be amazed how many people have these thoughts and feelings. And most people just never act on them. And I see that I'm hemorrhaging viewers. I see that, and I don't fucking care. Like, the fact of the matter is, these are still human beings. And of course, the ones that are very, very bad, like, we need to get them away from society, away from children. I understand that, but we need to absolutely change the way that we think about people that are crazy. It's a biological problem. It's very complicated, but we have to make tough choices to protect the most vulnerable. Pedophiles can't control their own behavior. They just can't without help. And what we need to be doing is incentivizing pedophiles to seek help, instead of just the minute that they understand that they have these thoughts and feelings, they're like, okay, look at the way that the universe talks about me. Trans folks get enough shit as it is. Any sort of forced reassignment for cis people would constitute a god-awful nightmare gate that pours suffering over us nonstop. Also that. I did not even fucking consider it from that perspective, but that is a really good point. It's so tough because this is a heinous thing that they do. It is a heinous thing that they do. But, like, the ones that don't do it, like, before they do it, they recognize that they have these thoughts and feelings, and they are incentivized to keep it a secret, to let it fester and build. And we need to fix it. We need to find a way to fix it. Justice and vengeance are not the same thing. And that's just such an important thing to internalize, I think. The more empathetically we handle the situation, the less damage they can do. No matter how many pedos you kill, there will always be more. I couldn't have said it better myself. Anyway, that's how I truly feel about it. And I'm not saying, again, I just want to say, I think that people who act on their pedophilic tendencies, they have something very wrong with them. It is not okay. It is not good. And, like, I'm not saying that we should, like, give them a fucking medal or anything. You know what I mean? Look, I am not okay with sparkly vampires, and I'm not okay with sexual predators crying victim. I feel like they're not mutually exclusive. I feel like you can be a sexual predator and a victim. I think that that's just true. And that's okay. We can agree to disagree, I guess. But until our laws reflect my way of thinking, we're gonna see no fucking progress. No fucking progress. Anyway, I'm gonna start again. No hard feelings to anyone. This is genuinely how I feel, and I know that I am right. Sorry.
People gathered and lit candles as they spoke of love, hope, and even forgiveness while they prayed for justice.
Punishment is a very bad deterrent, and it's been proven
Church said,
since the beginning of punishment.
Light, and when light is introduced into darkness, it's
exactly
no longer dark.
Exactly.
When hope is introduced into hopelessness, it's no longer hopeless. When love is introduced
between
into
reform
an
or punishment,
too
many people are
no
much too
loveless.
invested in vengeance and not enough in
Sabrina's
rehabilitation.
biological family would hold a celebration of life service before laying her to rest. Her biological father,
I agree, Zeppelin. So I can't be upset with anybody who reacts emotionally to that kind of thing, right? Because it is emotional. It's heinous.
After a long ordeal, her biological family had her cremated remains returned to them, so that she could be buried alongside her biological grandparents. Joe stated that he never wanted to give Sabrina up and wished that he could have been there for her during
I think
her
that we
time
should
of need.
The one I really missed
I think that we should start the ballerina top because this knitting thing, this isn't working out.
Excuse me.
Trying to hold it in front of the camera is just not working at all. Is everybody okay with it? I hope if we just switch to ballerina top.
She was giving me a hug.
That way you can see
kiss.
what is happening instead of like
know,
staring
just-
at
I
this
miss that.
the whole time.
Joe said
I feel like that
celebration of life for
can't be
Sabrina had
fun.
provided him some closure.
Relief. A little bit of a closure for me, a closure for my family and friends. So now I know she's gonna be with God and up in heaven with her mom and her other family.
Don't have much sympathy
In
for them
December,
either, but
it was
from
announced
a
that Ray
practical
had reached
perspective, if
plea
you want them to
agreement.
stop doing it, increased
Pleaded
punishment
guilty
doesn't
to
really
one
help.
charge of
There are
child
not many people who
endangerment
commit
causing
crimes
death
with the intention
and
of
3
being caught.
charges of third-degree
Absolutely.
kidnapping.
Yeah.
In court, it
That's
stated,
a really
"They failed
smart way to
obtain
say that.
necessary medical care
Nobody's just
to
like,
treat
yeah,
his
I'm going to
physical
diddle a
disability,
kid and
and my
then
failure to obtain
pay
medical
for
care
it?
caused Sabrina's death.
Question mark?
He also admitted that he locked Sabrina and 2 of her adoptive siblings in the
I'll show
home,
I'll link
covering the
to
windows
or I
and
can't link
restricting their
directly
movement
to
in
the top
house.
because
Judge Ricker stated,
it's
"You,
kind
as
of
her
in a
parent,
bad-
are responsible and should have been
I hate the-
responsible
I
for
hate the
getting her
fucking-
medical care, ultimately preventing her from dying."
website that it's on. But I can
Is
at
there
least do
something
this
interfering with
for
your
you.
happiness, or are you apprehensive about reaching
Paste.
out for help?
Chat and
Better
then
Help is
once
here
you
to
get
help
there,
and they're today's
you have to
sponsor of
control
Morbidology.
F ballerina.
BetterHelp is not self-help; it's professional counseling.
And can I
available
talk
to
somebody
you
into typing
online
ballerina
or over
into
the
chat
phone.
so that I can just copy
BetterHelp
paste
is
it,
more
please?
affordable and accessible than traditional
Sorry.
offline counseling, and they offer financial aid. Sadly, sometimes traditional offline counseling is not locally available for everybody, but BetterHelp
Katie Fram,
is
it's so good to
available
see you.
for
How are
clients
you?
worldwide.
Thank you
They
very,
have
very
licensed
much, Reaper. I
professional
appreciate it.
counselors specializing in a broad variety of areas, including depression, sleeping, self-esteem,
so
grief, and much more.
paste.
Everything you
Please,
share
no,
with your
don't make me hit
counselor is
enter.
confidential, and they are matched to your specific needs. I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/morbidology. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's betterhelp.com/morbidology. The following month, Misty also pleaded guilty to 1 count of first-degree kidnapping.
Oh shit! Okay,
and 2
hold on,
counts
hold
of
on, hold
third-degree
on.
Kidnapping, which were 3 felonies.
I spoke poorly by saying gender
court,
reassigned. I meant
she
just
read from a
castrated,
prepared
and that can be done
statement.
humanely.
I
I don't feel like that's a humane procedure. I don't feel like that's humane to take a part of somebody's body. Hi, Jace. It's good to see you.
Such confinement by way of covering the bedroom windows from the outside view, by placing a lock on the door.
Y'all are the best.
by
Thank you so
causing
much
the door
for
to be
just
locked
like
while she was
talking
so
and being,
confined. During and as a result of that confinement, on
I don't
May
know,
12th,
open to
2017,
hearing what I have to
Tuesday,
say
died of malnutrition
and not
with
judging me
severe
for it. Those of you that are still in here are the real
Misty and Mark
MVPs.
were to be sentenced together.
I
During the
have to go
sentencing
get a
phase,
crochet
the foster
hook.
parent of Sabrina's 2 adoptive siblings would read
I'm
aloud
spending
a
more time
victim
away
impact
from the
statement.
fucking keyboard than at
It
the
read,
keyboard this
"You have
stream.
caused
I'm
me so much trauma
sorry.
that I have flashbacks and nightmares. It has affected me
okay,
so
give me
much
just a
that I have
second. I'll be
wanted
right
to kill
back.
myself so many times. I have cut myself. I have run away. I have tried to tie shoestrings
What
around
size
my
hook
neck.
do I need?
You did not have to do these things to us. You could have left. You did not have to listen to her. It was evident that this final comment was directed at Mark, indicating that Misty
I'll be right
was the
back.
driving force behind the abuse. Another victim impact statement from the other adoptive daughter would reveal that she had been starved to the point that she threw up blood. The 2 girls were said to be thriving outside of the Ray home. Part of the victim impact statement from them read, "I am healing from it. When I have nightmares, I know that you're in jail and that you can't get to me. I am taking my power back." Before handing down the sentence, Judge Ricker said, "Mr. Ray and Mrs. Ray, your actions and treatment of your daughters in this case could be fairly described as both cruel and evil. Sabrina's sisters were forced to watch her slowly and agonizingly die.
Sabrina lies there, malnourished, emaciated, diaper-clad, covered in various wounds and bruises.
Time to hydrate.
Her ashen skin barely covers her skeleton.
He held up a photograph of Sabrina smiling, stating
You
that
can
it was a
vomit blood
refreshing
from
portrait
starvation.
of her
Absolutely. Your
humanity,
stomach eats
as
itself
opposed
and
to the
bleeds. And
inhumanity
then
in seeing her hollow and lifeless eyes staring into darkness.
This Sabrina, a girl with a broad smile,
thanks for looking out for me,
and
Moth.
a sparkle in her eye.
Appreciate you.
The court would hear that Misty and Mark fed the girls nothing but oatmeal, bread, and stuffing, and that they would physically abuse them, beating them, and even body slamming them.
Okay.
All 3 girls had been forced to sleep on bare, cold floors, and were confined to a room with windows that had been covered, making it impossible for them to escape or even attempt to call for help to somebody outside. Misty would be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, while Mark was sentenced to 80 years in prison. He was ordered to serve at least 35 years before being considered for parole. In court, Misty would apologise for the first time and state, "There are no
Yeah,
words that
Jay,
can
sorry, we were
express how
talking about
incredibly
yeah, we
sad
were
I
talking
am
about pedophiles
for the hurt that I
and,
have caused our children and my poor decisions.
I don't
Give
want to do it again.
anything
I don't
go
want to.
back in time and right all those wrongs."
It was my responsibility to protect and love our children and not cause them pain. I failed as their mother. All this is my
I'll
fault.
say.
And I want our children to know that they did nothing wrong, that they are good kids who deserve better. I'm so sorry.
After they were sentenced, Josie, who is the final defendant, also reached a plea
Fuck.
agreement. She pleaded guilty to neglect and 2 counts of
no.
child endangerment. In court, she said, "On May 12, 2017, I locked her in a room alone and unattended. Judge Rickers asked if she took any action to provide Sabrina with the attention or care she needed to prevent her death. She responded, 'I did not.' Sabrina's sisters provided victim impact statements once again.
Okay. This is going to be annoying for a little bit, but that's okay.
You were supposed to be my cousin. You were supposed to love me. You treated me so badly. You would smack me. I wish you were a nice cousin to me. My new cousins now play makeup with me and play dress up. We go on vacation.
Where does it
We
say
have a
what
lot of fun
ply?
together. We love each other and make good memories together.
Because I don't know, like, what that means. Does that mean how many threads are sewn into the, or I guess woven into the yarn?
You could have saved my sister Sabrina.
I have no idea. We have a lot to get through here, but I imagine we will get through all of it.
I don't have anything to say.
It's a mess.
What you did to me
It's all
hurt me so
this.
bad.
But I imagine
Now
we'll
I
get
get
through
new
all of it.
clothes,
We have to
I'm treated right by my new mom and family.
start with a chain 120 and then single crochet around. So I'm just going to foundation list or chainless foundation 120. I'll probably have to start over a couple times while I feel out the
You
gauge.
had every opportunity to call the cops so that my sister wouldn't have died.
You know, my mom is picking up
You did not
poutine
do
for me.
as much as they
Bless
did,
mom.
but
Bless
you
her.
still played
How many
a
of these
role.
children died? I keep getting confused. Did any of them
Thank
survive
you
and get placed into
for
CPS
defending
or
us
something?
and helping
So these
us to
people
get
were
them
foster
put in
parents.
prison for the rest of their lives. I really wish you could have gotten us out of there sooner.
Quinn Kenobi, I think
Get out. I want
most
there
of
to
the
be
time, I don't know why I said your full name. Most of the time, I think that it ends up
Josie was
making
sentenced to
them
14 years
mentally
in prison.
defective.
Well, this story should have ended
Ply
there.
is the number of
It didn't.
strands that make up the yarn?
In
Okay.
2019, the Ray family were back in the media once again when Sabrina's grandmother, Carla,
That's what I
escaped from
thought.
prison. She was arrested shortly thereafter.
She
around
escaped
a
from
mile away
prison.
From the prison and was charged with
Holy
escape,
shit.
which is a Class D felony. Just the following year, the Iowa State Ombudsman would release their
I
findings
don't
into the death
remember
of Sabrina.
that
And
happening.
they found that she could have been saved if DHS social workers had have been more thorough when they investigated the family.
J-Rod, how are you? It's so good to
It
see
revealed
you.
that
J.
DHS
Rhodes
had received
Sparkler,
11 child abuse reports
It's good to see
against
you.
Misty and
Thank
Mark
you for your
between
continued support. You're
2010
amazing.
and 2015, relating to Sabrina
Alright.
and her siblings, children that they had fostered,
Fun.
and children who attended their daycare. While it was first reported
They had a
in the media that
daycare.
these reports
These
related
people,
to the
these
daycare,
children
as opposed
haters,
to the
had
care
a
of the couple's
daycare.
adopted children, this clearly wasn't the case. Some of these reports included comments that Sabrina looked extremely thin and unhealthy. Other reports had accused
Come on.
Misty and Mark of forcing their children to drink soapy water, stand over freezing cold vents, and eat their own vomit. Others alleged they beat and belittled the children in the home, as well as locked them in closets as a form of punishment. There was also a report that they had called one of their foster children a fat ass and showed him photographs of his biological parents on the internet, referring to them as meth Facebook pages.
Go back to writing scripts for obscure dragon
authorities
videos. I'm not in the
came
mood
out
for
to the
hearing
home,
about
they
horrible
found
people,
locks,
even if I have to
alarms,
miss
and
hanging out with you
coverings on
lovely
the
people.
doors and
Have a good one,
windows where
AJ.
Sabrina had died.
Be excellent to
There was
one
a cake
another
of
as
the
well.
mattress where she was forced to use a potty
We'll be here
in the room
tomorrow.
where she was
Yeah, it's
confined.
pretty much all horrible
According to
people all the
report,
time over here,
a
except for the
DHS
community,
inspector
of course.
failed to look in the room just months before Sabrina died because she had misunderstood DHS policy, which required
It's
a
true,
complete
Sperry. It's
examination
insane. It's
of the home.
crazy. Hey,
There
we
were
don't
other
know
DHS
that
workers
all
that had come into
children.
the home
Oh
and
no.
noted in their assessments that Sabrina looked unnaturally
Yeah,
thin,
stuff was so. It's
but they
crazy.
did
Like
not have the
why?
proper training to
Like you
recognize
understand that you have some
malnutrition.
autonomy, and if you
Following
hate
Sabrina's
children, you
death,
don't
the report
have
found
to
that
be
the
around
family
them.
nickname for Sabrina was fucktard, and also that Mark had sexually abused one of her sisters.
Very
There were occasions
cool.
where Sabrina and her sisters were not fed for 3 or 4 days at a time, and that they were not given water.
Rory is
They
mowing
resorted
for
to
attention.
stealing
Better
food from
give
the
them
trash
some.
can and then hiding it in their diapers.
That was
It was when
like
Mark was
them,
searching for food in their
not
diapers
like
that he
him,
would
because I don't
sexually
know
abuse one of the girls.
whether your
When
cat
they were
is a girl or
examined
a
following
boy.
Sabrina's death, they too were found to be severely malnourished.
It's just history
There's
repeating
also
over and over and
evidence
over again. Yeah,
that
it's
Justin
ridiculous.
had sexually abused one of them. The ombudsman
Well, I hate
wrote,
spiders, but I
there
hate
were plenty
spiders.
of
I
official
can't
eyes
see
and
them
ears
more.
on this family. When it came down to it, there was not
All right,
sufficient
all right.
communication among DHS
It's a fair
officials.
point.
Following the
I
release of the
guess.
report, DHS stated, "We are committed to learning from these tragedies so we can improve the safety net DHS provides for
Yeah.
Iowa's children."
Stuff is so. I do think that
just
some of it
continue.
is like
I mean, life's got to go on. I mean, you can't
they
bring her back.
actively hate
You know, you
children
just
and
keep
want to
having
harm
her memory
them.
in your heart.
And that is a sick person that needs a lot of help. Society
Red
failed you
lived a
something
short and
awful
tragic
if
life.
you hate.
After being removed from her biological
Children.
father's care, she entered a home which became a house of horrors, not only for her but for her adoptive siblings as well. In 2017, child abuse findings in Iowa rose 26% from 8,892 in 2016 to 11,236 in 2017, with over 2,000 parents having their rights terminated. In the wake of Sabrina's murder, sweeping changes were made to the child protection system in Iowa, in the hopes that no other child ever has to suffer like Sabrina did.
That poor little fucking girl, dude. Like, God.
Well, Bessies, that is it for this episode.
It makes me
of
want to
More
adopt
Biology.
kids.
As
It
always,
makes me
thank
want
you
to
so much
adopt
for
kids
listening.
and give them the
I'd like to
life
say a
that
big
they
massive
fucking
thank you to
deserve
our
to have a
amazing
fucking
new
shot
Patreon
at. You know
supporters,
what I mean?
Vigar,
Like,
Cora, and A. Baker. If you'd like to support the show, please feel free to check More Biology out on Patreon. The link is in the show notes, or you can just search on the app or website.
sorry, I'm like
In
hurting a
exchange
little
for your
bit.
support, I send out handwritten thank you notes, as well as merch. I also upload
Sorry, I'm just coming over to JCS because I feel like watching something like highly produced and researched. We've got Michael Draka, Lero Dart, and Michael Rafferty. We also haven't done Jody. It's like started auto playing 1,000 times. If you guys want to do Jody, we could. I don't know. What do you guys think? Kids suck, but you got to be a special kind of evil to dedicate your life to ruining a kid's life. Yeah, so agree. Have you done the Amazon killer? Yeah, we did. Remember? I feel like you were here. Maybe you weren't. I think it was not last stream, but the stream before, if I recall correctly. But it was pretty recent. I'm so sorry. Be prepared to answer tough questions like how many locks is an acceptable number of locks to put on a child's bedroom. Study up if you want to adopt. Yeah, I don't want to adopt anytime soon. All right, I'm just picking one. Michael Rafferty it is. Let's go. And I will wait for 3 readies before we continue on. Hi, jet lagging. There's a local case to me where these staff forced mentally challenged people to fight for entertainment and made bets and stuff. Holy fuck. That's wow. I'm sick by that. I'm sick by that. All right, here we go. Michael Rafferty. Let's find out what kind of piece of shit this guy is.
At exactly 3:25 p.m. on April 8th of 2009, the dismissal bell rang at Oliver Stevens School in Woodstock, Ontario, and hundreds of grade schoolers were seen leaving the premises. Yet one 8-year-old was captured
living
on
in a big old
surveillance
haunted
leaving 2
Victorian
minutes
home in
later than
Halifax.
arrest, as
It'd
she
be
had to
such a
run back
vibe, though. I
inside
would
to get her
love
mother's
it.
butterfly earrings that were left on her
Be like,
desk.
okay,
Her name was
children,
Tori
gather around
Stafford,
today. I'm
and on
going to
that
teach you
Wednesday
about
afternoon,
spirit boys.
She never returned home. She was reported missing by her grandmother at exactly 6:04 p.m., and a missing persons investigation was launched immediately. Roughly 7 hours later, surveillance footage from a local high school was discovered, capturing what police say was the missing child, walking side by side an unidentified woman.
Oh, I know this case. This case is really heavy, you guys.
25 years of age, white, 5'2", and about 125 pounds with a black ponytail.
Yeah, this one's
the
pretty
local
heavy.
Police made a public appeal for the woman in the video to come forward, and Tori's grandparents offered a $10,000
we're
reward
gonna
for her
start
return.
one more time.
A Facebook
Just
group
the end of
dedicated
this
to
got
finding
really
her gained
loose.
over 20,000 followers in under 24
And
hours.
it's much
On
tighter
April
here,
12th,
and I
4
think
days
that
after
that
her
will
disappearance,
make
hundreds
my
gather in
gauge much
Woodstock
nicer.
at 8 p.m. to hold a vigil for Tori. And
I
her mother
might
makes
have
a
to go
tearful
up one
televised
hook
appeal
size,
for the
but I
return of her
think that
missing
we're
daughter.
on the right
Over the
track
following
here.
week, Tori's parents are interviewed by investigators, and each of them pass a polygraph test.
Yes, this one
Police
is
call
Canadian.
off ground searches 6 days after the child's disappearance after finding no clues nor leads. The day after, America's Most Wanted features Tori's case as its top story. On April 17th, the Ontario Provincial Police take the lead in the investigation, and the ground searches recommence. The case was then officially classed as an abduction, not just a missing person. They step up a media campaign by releasing a composite sketch of the woman in the video, and then circulate the image on social media and local news outlets. On May 19th, police attain information that the woman is 18-year-old Terry Lynn McClintock, who is already in custody for breaching a probation order for a previous drug violation. She was transferred to the Ontario Police Headquarters and interviewed at roughly 5:30 p.m. by Detective Sergeant Jim Smith. She initially denied being the woman in the video and claimed to know nothing about the missing girl, but roughly 45 minutes into the
always
interrogation,
so messed up.
she breaks.
Ever since, hold on, I'm gonna pause it again really quick.
You didn't want to see it, okay? But that doesn't change the fact that
I almost never heard of anything from Canada before I moved here, but because Canadian media laws are so fucking weird, I get like almost exclusively Canadian channels recommended to me now. So I hear a lot more stuff about the stuff that goes on in backwoods Canada. And let me tell you, it is brutal. Like, the stuff that happens up here is fucking backwoods. And I'm not saying that backwoods stuff doesn't happen in the USA. I'm saying that the concentration of backwoods stuff that happens up here is much thicker. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that there aren't guns up here. Most of the violence that happens in America is some fucking idiot that got too frisky with his entirely too easily acquired gun. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. Anyway, unpausing.
saw it.
Also, here's your
Okay? And
captions.
that's
I'm
what
so
you need
sorry
to
that I
say. I know it's hard to talk
forgot those.
about. I know it's even harder to talk about than the section part of it, okay? But you saw it.
Okay.
You know you saw it. And we need to talk about that.
Paul Bernardino and Carla, yeah.
Tori on his lap, like I turned my head because I didn't want to see it. I could hear her calling my name.
Okay, so tell me what happened.
She describes in disturbing detail the abduction and killing of Tori Stafford, stating that she lured the girl into a secluded parking space with the promise of showing her a puppy. She was then forced into the back seat of a vehicle that immediately drove away. In the driver's seat was 28-year-old Michael
smelling the
Rafferty,
thing again.
who
Why
then
is
drove
this
to a
happening?
secluded
It's so
area about
gross.
100 miles north of Woodstock. He then proceeded to sexually assault and then murder the 8-year-old, with the fatal injuries being 4 strikes to the head with a claw hammer. McClintock drew a rough sketch of the area where Tori was killed, which
Clint is
eventually led
accused of
police
getting
to discover the
frisky
girl's
with a
remains.
firearm.
She was found with lacerations to her liver and 16 broken ribs, but her eventual cause of death correlated with Terry's testimony, as was confirmed to be the result of repeated blows to the head with a blunt object. At 7:55 p.m. that evening, Michael Rafferty is arrested and informed that he is being charged with kidnapping and first-degree murder. He is
I do
read
need
his
to go
rights
up a
and then
hook
brought
size.
to the police headquarters for immediate interrogation.
God damn it. Such a bummer. This is great yarn, though. I'm sad at how easily it gets loose. Yeah. Yep, in Woodstock it said.
grab a chair.
Okay, really quick, I'm so
that's a
sorry.
unfold,
I'm
so
so,
that's a
so
blanket for
sorry,
you there.
everybody.
Okay. Tea? I
Oh
think
my
they might
god,
have
give
only
me my
put
fucking
sugar
cursor.
in
I hate my computer. I need an upgrade
plain
so
donut
bad.
for you. I had a cereal bar. If you get hungry or anything else, just let me know, okay?
We're gonna run a quick break. Everybody will be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm so
If
sorry.
you're hungry now, I get you a full meal if you want. You bacon and eggs, or do you want something else?
What do you awful women want?
Hello.
Live hosting with 5 viewers.
What great timing. We're just getting back. I had to go up a hook size here. Hi, everyone. We're watching some true crime and doing some crochet. Floof Corp Live, what a fun name. Thank you so much for the raid. I'm Zero Doxy. I'm a disgusting piece of shit human being. Welcome to my chat. It's so good to see you. And then also, it looks like we got a follow 2 minutes ago. Thank you so much, Steven39W, for the follow. I appreciate it very much. Doxy Gamer Rage live on stream. We don't want that. We super don't. Thank you, Floof, for the raid. By all means, feel free to drop your links if you'd like to self-promote and welcome newcomers. If I could just get 4 readies in chat, we'll go ahead and unpause the JCS. I feel like since people just got here, we can start this over. We're only 4 minutes in, and I feel like that is the right thing to do. And we'll get all the way through this video. And we might just call that a stream at the end of it. I'm not sure though. We'll see. Used to go by DJ Tiger Fox. Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you. How are you? It's wonderful to see you, dear, genuinely. I got 2 readies. I will love a couple more. I will love 2 more readies. It will make me very happy. I guess not, J-Rod. Oh, no. It's very unfortunate when people don't give readies. I feel like everybody got up to get water. There's our 3rd and then our 4th. Excellent. Okay. Whew. All right. Okay. I have waited the appropriate amount of time. All right. Here we go.
At exactly 3:25 p.m. on April 8th of 2009,
Thank you,
the dismissal
everyone.
bell rang at Oliver Stevens
Right,
School
let's
in
start
Woodstock,
over.
Ontario, and hundreds of grade schoolers were seen leaving the premises. Yet one 8-year-old was captured on surveillance, leaving 2 minutes later than the rest,
Poor sweet
as she had to
baby.
run back inside to get her mother's butterfly earrings.
Definitely
that were left
trigger
on the
alert.
desk. Her name was Tori
This is
Stafford, and
trigger
on that
warning. I
Wednesday
mean, not trigger
afternoon,
alert.
She
I
never returned
fucking
home. She was
content
reported missing
alert.
by her
Content
grandmother
warning.
at exactly 6:04 p.m. and a missing
This is-
persons
this is
investigation
a
was launched immediately. Roughly
very
7 hours
heavy
later,
case.
surveillance footage from a local high school was discovered, capturing what police say was the missing child, walking side by side an unidentified woman. Tori did not appear to be
Oh,
struggling
always
in the
say
video,
ready
and the
anyway,
woman
even
was
if
described
even
as
if we
between
have
19 to
enough.
25 years of age,
Always say
white,
ready anyway
5'2",
because chat
and about
interactions
125
make us
pounds
more
with a black
visible on
ponytail.
the on
local
the
police
search
made a public
screens and
appeal
stuff.
for the woman in the
So
video to
the
come
more
forward,
active
and
chat
Tori's
is, the better
grandparents
that
offered
is
a
for me
$10,000
and our
reward for her
community.
return. A Facebook group dedicated to finding her gained over 20,000 followers in under 24 hours. On April 12th, 4 days after her disappearance, hundreds gather in Woodstock at 8 p.m.
J-Rod.
to hold a vigil for Tori.
Okay,
and
you
her
don't have
mother
to go
makes a
that
tearful
crazy.
televised appeal for the return of
Sorry,
her
I'm
missing
trimming,
daughter.
so my
Over the
fingers are
following
sticky.
week,
Yeah, fair
Tori's
enough.
parents are interviewed by investigators, and each of them pass a polygraph test. Police call off ground searches 6 days after the child's disappearance after finding no clues nor leads. The day after, America's Most Wanted features Tori's
Time
case
to
as its top
hydrate.
story.
Don't mind if I
On April
do. Give me just
17th,
1 second
the Ontario
here.
Provincial Police take the lead in the investigation, and the ground searches recommence.
I'm
the case
getting
was
ready
then
to just
officially
not do this
classed as an
foundation
abduction,
shame,
not just a
though.
missing person. They stepped
Driving
up a
my
media
own
campaign
self
by releasing
crazy.
a composite sketch of the woman in the video, and then circulate
Thank
the image
you
on
for
social
looking out
media
for
and
me,
local
Moth.
news outlets. On May 19th, police attain information that the woman is 18-year-old Terry Lynn McClintock, who is already in custody for breaching a probation order for a previous
What a
drug
beautiful
violation.
girl.
She was transferred to the Ontario
Sucks that
Police
she's such a piece of
Headquarters
shit.
and interviewed at roughly 5:30 p.m. by Detective Sergeant Jim Smith. She initially denied being the woman in the video and claimed to know nothing about the missing girl, but roughly 45 minutes into the interrogation, she breaks.
I think it goes right back to what you've said a few times. You didn't want to see it, okay? But that doesn't change the fact that you saw it, okay? And that's what you need to be truthful about. And I know it's hard to talk about. I know it's even harder to talk about than the section part of it, okay? But you saw it, okay? You know you saw it. And we need to talk about that.
Hell yeah, stuff with soap. I want some poutine. That sounds
I turned
brown.
my head because I didn't want to see it. I could hear her calling my name.
Tell me what happened.
What the fuck?
She describes in disturbing detail
What is
the abduction and
happening?
killing of Tori Stafford, stating that she lured the girl into a secluded parking space with the promise of showing her a puppy. She was then forced into the back seat of a vehicle that immediately drove away. In the driver's seat was 28-year-old Michael Rafferty, who then drove to a secluded area about 100 miles north of Woodstock. He then proceeded to sexually assault and then murder the 8-year-old, with the fatal injuries being 4 strikes to the head with a claw hammer. McClintock drew a rough sketch of the area where Tori was killed, which eventually led police to discover the girl's remains. She was found with lacerations to her liver and 16 broken ribs, but her eventual cause of death
I feel
correlated
like
with Terry's
for once I might need
testimony,
to
as was
go a little
confirmed
bit
to be the result of
tighter than I
repeated
have
blows to
been.
the head with a blunt object.
But I'm really
At
worried that I'm gonna
7:55
make
p.m. that evening, Michael Rafferty is arrested and
a big,
informed that he is
nasty,
being
curled
charged with
piece of
kidnapping
shit
and
if I do
first-degree
that.
murder. He is read his rights and then brought to the police headquarters for immediate interrogation.
Come on in, grab a
Okay,
chair.
I know that this is
That'll
so
unfold, so that's a
unfortunate.
blanket for you there. Okay.
Give me
See,
just a second to
I think
do
they
this
might
close
have
to my
only put
face.
one sugar in. I think they got it mixed up. And there's a plain donut there for you. I had a cereal bar, but if you get hungry or need anything else, just let me know, okay? Do you have any,
I've eaten since noon.
you have eaten since noon? Okay, are you hungry now? I can get you a full meal if you want.
Okay.
Like bacon and eggs, or do you want something
I
else?
think I'm too sick to talk.
Okay.
This is ridiculous.
That's okay, you can listen, and if you have any questions as we go along, there's no issues there at all, okay?
Okay.
I got a few things I'll talk to you about. As I told you, my name is Chris, my last name is Lone, and I understand your name is Michael. Now, do you go by Mike or Michael, what's your preference?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll probably call you Mike, so unless that really offends you, just leave it with me. I'm gonna go over a few things here today, okay, Mike? Like I say, don't be shy. You'll find I'm pretty relaxed, pretty laid back, because I've dealt with these types of issues before.
The Ontario Provincial Police have a highly trained behavioral sciences unit, and their subdivision of forensic psychiatry is recognized as one of the best in the world. At first, you will see the familiar strategy of rapport development. The investigator will retain a friendly and almost nonchalant disposition throughout the opening phase of the interrogation. The perception of solidarity and respect will make the suspect more likely to cooperate and take things into consideration, while the detective's easygoing disposition will also downplay the severity of the crime, thus making the gravity of admission far less intimidating.
Anytime that you have a question, all right, don't be shy. Now,
Not me, a grown-ass adult going, yup, lured
I have
to
no
a
issues
van
getting
by
any
expectations
food
of a puppy is how they will get me.
I'll get you some
Straight
food.
up.
No problem.
Hi, Oz, good to see you.
That for you in about 5 minutes. So, but my job is, as I mentioned to you earlier, I'm from what's called the behavioral sciences section, and we're talking about the missing person when Tori Stafford went missing. And I know you're.
I am
following the
jealous
media.
because I've been
Follow some
smelling
little bits and
belt.
pieces that there was behavioral
And I don't know where it's
sciences
coming from, and it's disgusting, and it's
involved,
making me
right?
fucking
Sometimes they
sick.
were,
I just get it for a split
profilers,
second at a time, once every
members
couple of
in
minutes,
threat
but
assessment,
it's
that's what,
nasty.
one of my roles is as well.
And it's driving me
Threat assessment,
crazy.
what my job is to
I
determine
am
the
so
the risk.
annoyed.
Okay, what's the risk
I'm
of a certain
so annoyed
situation?
that this is curling.
The situation
I'm
that we're talking
crocheting
about,
so
you're gonna
loose.
find here that there's nothing you're gonna tell me to surprise me, okay, for 2 reasons.
I'm just gonna
One,
fucking chain
I've
it.
heard a lot of this stuff before.
I'm
the
upset.
Second reason is I'm fortunate enough to know what all the case facts are, okay? So what I have to do is assess what I perceive is a threat. So are you gonna go out and kill more people after this situation's done, okay? That's what my job is, to assess threat level, all right? I already know you're responsible for one death, okay? So that's what my job is to determine, okay, what's happened here, all right?
Staff Sergeant Chris Loam had been a police officer for over 21 years and was a member of the Behavioral Sciences Unit for the last 17. At the time this interrogation took place, he was the head of the analysis section. This meant
Maybe
he
it's
was
a
in charge
gross
of criminal
drain that
profiling,
stinks?
threat assessment, and forensic psychiatry.
That's
he
possible.
indicates that his only purpose is to
But I'm
assess
only
the
smelling
suspect's
it
threat
since
level,
I
yet
came
this
into
variety
my
of threat
office.
assessment is only applied to less severe infractions. With relation to rape and murder, the serious nature of the crime means that the threat level is
That
already
doesn't mean that it
assessed
didn't
long
start,
before any
like,
form of
while I was in my
psychoanalysis
office,
takes
though.
place. In reality, the investigator's primary purpose is to gain
Like,
an understanding of the
coincidences do
suspect's
happen
character, and then
sometimes.
use this knowledge to try and influence both his reasoning and decision-making.
Before we go through all that, though, like, people just don't wake up one day and decide this is going to happen. And I know that, all right? So there's a lot of ideas that go in people's heads at the time. And if I go through, and I go through your history and your background, there's not a whole hell of a lot you've been involved in like this, right? You're completely under the radar. Anyways, I'm going to go through a few things with you here, all right? Obviously, you're upset by what's going on. You're here for a reason, and right back at the beginning, the investigators and the case manager, the officer in charge said that
Could have killed them about 14 times. Why you ain't doing it?
Okay, and now you're here.
So I sealed myself in a reinforced steel room and exploded myself.
All right, and then I get after that. There's been people that I work with in behavioral sciences that have been here from the outset of the investigation, but really, at this point in time, I mean, when I go in and look at your history,
a sixth of the way there.
There's very little on there. Like I said,
Let's
you've
go.
flown under the radar. You haven't had any major problems with the police. Okay, but now all of a sudden you're involved in this situation, and it's a serious situation, and it's a scary situation. I'm sure you're quite upset and quite concerned about what's going on here. All right. Now the last one I was involved with like this, I don't know if you're aware of it, was a girl named Holly Jones in Toronto. She went missing.
9.
And the guy that had abducted her.
30. Hi, Velociraptor Owl. It's good to see you. How are you?
What he was doing is he was watching on his computer for hours and hours and hours. He was looking at child porn to the point that he decides, I want to go try this. And he goes and he grabs Holly and he does some things to her. And then he realizes, what am I going to do? Okay? And he panics. He doesn't know what to do because she's a witness now. And he says, if I just let her go, she's going to tell on me. So he decides that he's not going to let her go. All right? And all that was from something as simple as watching child pornography for hours on end.
32.
These things happen, okay?
33.
And we can't say it happened close to home. Toronto's not that
34.
far from you, okay?
35.
These things happen all the time,
36.
all right? So what I need to do is sit with you.
37.
I already know how.
38.
I know the who's, right? Why? I mean, why is up to you, but I can actually probably fill in that blank for you, but that's not what my role here is. If I'm going to assess risk here and see, number one, do you even feel bad about what you've done? That's the first thing I look for. And number two, do I think, okay, he doesn't feel bad, so in turn he's probably going to do this again because he really doesn't care about it the first time it's happened, okay? I'm not at all upset with you. I'm not mad at you. I don't mind sitting here talking.
Had no
to you.
fun winning
No,
in
I
that
don't wanna talk
game.
to you.
Barely have any fun in it anymore now that I'm at a very high level.
About
People
you,
take it too
this to me
serious. I'm
seems
going
like
back
it's
to
out of
Save the World
care. Well, I could
mode.
be wrong, right?
I didn't even know that
You
Save the
may
World
have,
mode
you
still
may have planned
existed.
this for
That's
a long
crazy.
period of time.
A lot
You
better
may have
than you
thoroughly
used to
enjoyed
be.
this, and if I'm wrong,
Well,
then
I'm
you tell me.
happy to hear that.
But I also
I'm
know
happy
we'll
to hear
make
that. I
mistakes, okay?
didn't know that
That's
things
what
were bad
pencils heavy
before.
racers
I'm
do,
sorry
okay?
for
People
that.
make mistakes. It's that
I'm
simple.
so happy to hear that you're a lot better.
Spending time with you here, and if I'm wrong, you tell me. But it looks like if you could turn back time,
3,
maybe there's a few decisions in life you'd have made a little bit different.
45,
All right? If I
46,
could turn back time for you, like
47,
I would. But it's not
48,
that simple, okay? So now you and I have
49,
to sit here and face what's happened, okay?
50.
I can sit and tell you what happened. I can take you through the day of her disappearance, okay? I mean, I've seen the video, all right? And I know that you didn't do this alone. And but at the end of the day, we got to deal with this situation.
Weird West is a great game.
It's a young girl that we got to talk about.
I know that name.
If you and I don't sit and talk about your side, then people will only think the worst, right? It's human nature, right? You've done it and I've done it. We always think the worst until we know the facts, okay? So that's what you and I need to sit here and work and discuss and work through. Again, if I'm wrong, you tell me, okay? But I really believe if you could turn back time, you would deal with this a little bit different, okay? And there may have been a rush, it may have been exciting for a period of time, but then reality sets in. You have to sit and live with the fact of what's happened, okay? And that's what we're doing here.
4,
Sit and deal with what's happened. Really, at this point, what you have left is your word and your credibility.
7,
And people always think the worst, okay? Until they know the
59,
truth. You do it and I do it. It's human nature.
60.
So we're all going to think the worst until we know why this has happened in your mind. And again, if it's something where you're like Michael Briere,
New
where you're
Devolver
looking at a lot of
Digital
child
game.
porn and
Okay.
you decided you were
I'll
gonna
keep an
try
eye
it,
out.
Then that's fine. If it wasn't your idea, then that's fine too, but we can't change what the case facts are, all right? You know deep down that this is your chance to get it off your chest. You're not
A lot of
sitting there the
issues
rest of
with
your
my
life
mental
saying,
health. Once
I guess I
I
should have said
addressed it, I
something.
made a lot of
Right, I guess I
changes,
should have
including
got it
going to
off my chest
school.
and said my
Just
side.
overall feel more
This is your
confident.
last chance to do it.
Kept a lot of stuff
Fact
bottled
that
up to
you're
myself.
here,
Velociraptor
fact
Owl,
that,
that's amazing to hear that you're doing
they've
better in
already,
those areas. I'm
they
so
know
happy
where-
to hear that.
where the victim is,
That
okay, and
is
know your
truly a
steps.
happy thing
This
to
is it.
hear.
You have to take the steps now to live the rest of your life, okay? This is what you have to do. You and I need to talk about this, okay?
62.
It's always interesting to examine a
64,
suspect's demeanor while being
65,
interrogated, especially compared to how they most
66,
likely were while committing their violation.
67,
The suspect here is a quivering mess,
68,
acting like a helpless victim, wallowing in his own
69,
self-pity while vying for sympathy. Essentially the opposite of how he
70.
was while attacking Tori Stafford. It's ironic that the powerless and vulnerable complexion he is trying to portray here is exactly what his victim would have felt at the time she was attacked. The sympathy he is trying to garner for himself is clearly what he lacked for the 8-year-old child he raped and murdered.
So I've got to determine, as part of my job, when all is said and done here, do I think Mike's done? This is it, he's made his mistake. He realizes how wrong the mistake that he made, and he's willing to look past it? Or do I have to sit here and say, all right, my report's going to say very simple, I think this guy's going to reoffend. And that's what our job is. We deal with these types of situations and the reasons why people do this stuff, okay? Like I say, this may have been a thing that you just snapped and did something. That stuff happens. Or it may have been something you planned for many months and got some enjoyment out of the plan.
I
32,
didn't do anything.
Well, that's not
73,
entirely true.
That is entirely
74,
true. I didn't do
75,
anything.
No, you can try and
76,
cement yourself into that.
77,
But at the same time, you're not doing yourself any
78,
good by not being truthful here.
79.
The investigator wants to come across as empathetic and understanding,
80.
yet still needs to keep the suspect's confidence low. He watches for denials and stops them immediately. Letting the suspect deny his guilt will only increase his morale, thus increase his psychological endurance and constancy for self-preservation. This needs to be stripped away as much as possible, as early as possible.
Because by not being truthful, all you have left is your credibility, Mike. That's all you have left, okay? You're not the only person who's been arrested and charged, okay? And
81,
there's no
82,
surprises left anymore, okay?
83,
The only it's not even a
84,
surprise, it's why this happened.
I'm also not the only innocent person who's ever been arrested and
86,
charged.
Well, and that's true. There's
87,
been people that have been arrested for things where there's no evidence, but
88,
unfortunately in this case, there's lots of evidence to
89,
determine your role in this crime, okay? The girl who's on the video who
Okay,
walks away
I'm
with
gonna
Tori
start
has been identified, and she's
moving
been
down to
identified as
30s
her and Tori
instead
being
of
in your car.
10s.
And the three of you and her and Tori, go to the Guelph area, go to the Home Depot, okay? And the grabbing of Tori, there was a planned event that you were going to grab her. You're going to grab a girl, but this other person was going to do it, and the other person got the girl, put her in your car, all right? And then there's other steps that are taken from there, okay? There's things that happen at Home Depot. There's things that happen outside of Guelph.
90,
There's things
80,
that happen
70,
to Tori,
60.
all right, before she's gone, and you're involved in that, and you can't mask that, you can't change it, okay?
No.
Because what's happened has happened. I can't turn back the hands of time, and neither can you, okay? There's nothing I can do.
This
to
dude
turn
is
back
doing
the
a
hands of
great
time and
job,
say,
this
"That was Mike who
interrogator.
reacted to this situation a little bit differently, okay? There's no doubt in my mind, okay? There's no doubt in my mind that you're involved in the abduction, okay, of Tori. No doubt in my mind at all. I followed the
Yeah,
evidence.
it's horrible,
Read the
so.
file, okay? There's
Hi,
no doubt in
Kika.
my mind. We're past that, okay?
I love you.
The only concern or the issue
You're
that
so
I have
cute.
is why you did this. What caused you to
You
do
can
this?
come hang out if you
Something
want.
You, like I say, is this something that you've done before? And you've been involved in the death of other people?
Y'all, we got
By
some
this?
catnip
Am I
bubbles
sitting
for
across
him, and
the-
he
the,
loves
uh,
them, and
the
it's
desk
so
of
fun
Leonardo here?
to
Am
play
I
with him with
sitting
them.
across from someone who's made a mistake, okay?
Are you coming to
asking
hang
you the
out or
question
not?
that's
I
asked.
really need you to just
Alright?
make a decision,
Get your
Kika.
bucket
You can't
there
just
just a
bother
second.
me.
You gotta get sick
Come
until
on.
your boots there.
Let's hang out.
Okay? I've seen it before. You're not gonna offend me or bother me. So if you gotta be sick, Mike, go right ahead. Okay? I'll get you some paper towels or something.
Never mind, I guess.
If you feel like you're gonna be sick, just grab the, I'll have the bucket there handy for you, okay?
The cop is getting share stuck in
You
your
and I
head.
need to,
If I could
have a
turn
discussion.
back
This
time. It
isn't,
took me a second.
This
If
isn't
I
a
could
parking
find
ticket,
a
okay?
way.
This is reality, okay? And people are, I've already told you, you know this. People assume the worst until they know the truth, okay? And people are going to assume the worst of you. Unless you and I sit here and clarify it. Okay, something's pushed you to do this.
4,
okay, you can't just fly under the radar your entire life.
6,
okay, Mike? It doesn't happen. It's not realistic.
7,
I'm not going to sit and tell you that it happens. Something brings this on. When you sit and talk to
9,
someone who had a troubled life like Michael Breer and just gets pushed into doing this and panics and thinks, what would it be like to take a kid and touch and rub a kid and then wish you could stop, okay? And people can't, and that's the whole issue here.
Cher has a bunch of
detective
fucking
seems to be
bangers.
almost rambling
Cher's a
here,
queen.
but this is a common strategy used to keep the suspect's mind racing. When Rafferty is concentrating on what the detective is saying, it doesn't give him a chance to conjure up his own thoughts, making it very hard for him to either think up a lie or disassociate from the situation altogether. It's a methodical process of breaking a suspect down through mental
101,
exhaustion and
102,
slowly chipping away at his
103,
psychological stamina piece by
104,
piece.
105,
We can't control
6,
every emotion.
107,
We can't control some of our urges,
8,
some of our thoughts. None of us can.
109,
Okay, and I can't look you in the face and say I haven't made a mistake or made a bad decision.
Babe,
because I have.
can you come here?
But the reality of it is, you and I have to accept that and move on. Okay?
I keep
'Cause I can
smelling
walk
a
out there and
nasty
never see
belch
you again.
smell.
Like I can do that.
Has that
My job
that
here
hasn't
is
been
done. The
happening
job
to you
here
at
is
all?
done, as you'll find out tomorrow.
Like, you know that really gross
this thing
smell when you
starts
have like an
to
upset belly and you
released.
belch and there's that like
There
acidy
is no
smell
more
in it?
questions. There is no more
Like, I
long,
keep
drawn-out
smelling
investigations.
that.
They're already sending
Will you
people
come put
home
your
to
head
spend
over
time
here and
with their
tell me if you
families,
smell
okay?
it?
They're scaling back what's happened because it's been cleared and they know what's happened. The pieces of evidence have been gathered.
I only
So
smell it for a
that's reality.
split second
I
at a
can't
time
downplay
every
that.
couple of
But you and I
minutes.
need to walk out of here together.
No, I
okay?
do not smell it.
With what happened here. You and I have to sit and say, this is what pushed
Okay,
Mike over
thank
the
you.
top. This is what pushed Mike to get involved in something like this. Because if we don't, then you sit here.
See you
on
later, Apple Pine. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out.
Okay, and is that necessarily fair? All right.
I have to sit here on my own anyways and take this.
To an extent, you do, yes. Then you have to sit there and decide, am I going to get rid of this and get this off my chest?
I just
so
smelled it.
people
I just
understand
smelled
my
it
side, or
just
am I gonna
now.
sit there curled up and keep it in for the rest of my life, all right?
I am scared
You need
that
to be
I'm like
realistic
having a
about
fucking
this,
stroke or
okay?
something.
You have no battle plan to deal with this, right? It's happened, it's spun out of control, and you're thinking, okay, if I ever get caught for it, what am I gonna do? Well, your plan isn't gonna
11,
work, okay? Because you're
12,
not built for this shit. This isn't what you're about.
13,
Okay, you're not some sick bastard, right?
14,
That sits there and gets
15,
enjoyment out of hurting people. All right, so now
16,
you have to live with this.
17,
Okay, and to live with it, one of the first ways, right? It's like if someone's an alcoholic, what's the first thing they have to do? Acknowledge they got the issue. All right, you have an issue here in that there's overwhelming evidence, compelling evidence that indicates you're involved in what's happened to Tori. Okay, and I can't change that, and you can't change that at this stage. But you need to be honest, and you need to understand your credibility, Mike, is all you have left. All you have left.
I'll let you know if
is
half your face starts to drip.
credibility.
Thank you. I
And you
appreciate
sitting here
it.
saying nothing doesn't do you a bit of good because no one's gonna know. And then all of a sudden, 10 years from now or 5 years from now, you decide to say something. Who's gonna listen? Nobody. Okay.
And now we
This
just
is your
have to
chance say
join
your
and
piece,
single
Like I said,
crochet
if you
all the way
want,
around.
And you can see probably I'm trying not to out of respect actually for
All right.
you, but I can sit and get as graphic as I want, okay? Because none of this stuff bothers me because I've seen it hundreds of times, okay? But if I sit and go
Just
over
make sure not to let the
what's
chin
happened here with Tori,
twist.
you may not be real happy about it because it's going to cause you to relive all this crap, okay? And maybe you want to, because I can tell you, I've sat with guys that wanted me to say it again so they could hear what they've accomplished. And I've had that, where they want me to say it 2 and 3 times because they get a rush out of that. I don't think that's you, okay? You're not some sick guy, okay? I'm not sitting across from Paul Bernardo, okay? I know that, and I know people that have sat across from him, okay? And I know 2 officers that have in different stages of their lives, okay? And I know what he's all about. You're not that guy, all right? But at the same time, you can't just sit here and say, well, I hope this all goes away.
All right,
This isn't
flip
like a list your
stitch.
girlfriend gives you to say, here's a list of things to do. Can you
To
go pick up a few
join,
things at the
and then we
grocery
just
store for me? Get
crochet
some
around.
gas. This isn't what that is.
One
Okay, this is a
single
lot more
crochet
serious
all the
than
way
a
around
to-do list.
on it.
We need to deal with reality. And the reality of it is your credibility is all you have left at this point. If you sit there and say nothing, everybody's going to assume the worst, okay? And you may be
I
painted with a
imagine
picture that you're not
finishing
real
one
happy
first,
with,
though.
okay? And I'm the only one that feels like sitting in here with you, right? There's no investigators lined up in here sitting with you. Why do you think that is? Right? Because they've been working at this for weeks, okay? They're tired and they've been away from their families, and none of them want to come in here and talk to you, okay? I have no issue with it. I'm neutral. I don't have these issues. I haven't been away from my family. I don't mind talking to you. Like, I've talked to people that have been involved in things far worse than what they're saying you did here. Far worse, okay? And I can sit and list the things that I've been involved in. There are people who have done things that have been a threat to our national security, terrorism in Canada. Or I've dealt with people that have been involved in murdering more than 3 people, all right? I've been involved with people who have abducted and taken the life of children. I've been involved in that. I've dealt with many people who are sex offenders.
I'm Echoes. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it very much. You know that feeling you get when you have a craving for a very, very specific flavor of juice, and you just happen to have that very specific flavor of juice in the house? That's the feeling I just got from you following my channel. So thanks for being my surprise craving resolution. Burnt toast is what you smell during a stroke, not acid smell, so I think it's just your nose is more sensitive. I have no idea, man. It's bumming me out. It smells awful. I feel fucking sick from it.
Through your side with me, all right? Because if I just walk away, at minimum, that's what people are going to think, at minimum. But you have some explaining to do, okay? That's reality. I can't change that, okay? If this is something that got out of control, that you just planned on taking her and you thought you were going to put her back, or just take her for a ride, that's fine. If it get out of hand, then we need to talk about that, okay? You need to sit and explain that and say why, okay? If not, then I say people think the worst.
I like foundation, or chainless foundations so much better than fucking working into a chain.
You can do.
I hate it so much.
Change what's happened to her. We can't turn back time. However, we can explain how things got off the rails, whether it was something that happened slowly or just went right off the rails right from the beginning. Why do you think the OPP has a behavioral sciences section? This is all the stuff that we deal with, okay? We deal with occurrences that are unusual. We deal with situations that aren't regular situations, and that's not what this is. This isn't a regular situation. This is a couple of people that made a series of
what juice is your fave though, Doxy? Oh man,
quite right.
This is a boring answer, but I love high pulp orange juice. High pulp orange juice. Also, raspberry lemonade is fucking lit.
I don't think that, okay? I think this got out of control. I think it got out of hand.
Not pink lemonade, raspberry lemonade. Especially if you toss just a splash of Sprite in there.
You made a mistake, right?
So good.
This is a mistake, right, Mike? You'd take it back if you could. This is a mistake, right, Mike? You'd take it back. If you could turn back the hands of time, Mike, would you do this a little bit different? Mike? Talking to you.
Come on.
If you turn back the hands of time, you're not some monster. You made a mistake, right? You take this back if you could. This is a mistake, Mike. You need to deal with this.
I am no monster,
I know
but I did not do what you think I did.
I know you did. We're past that, okay?
No.
We're past that, Mike, okay? I know you're not a monster. If you did, if I thought you're a monster, I would tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't just walk out. I would spend some time with you. If I thought you're a monster, just because I want to see what makes you tick, but you're not a monster, all right? This thing has consumed you. Look at you.
What is happening to me?
You can barely eat or drink. You haven't touched your donut, right?
You haven't touched your donut, Mike.
Eating yourself up inside, okay? You can't sit and say that you're innocent and what's the first thing you did when you got in here? You just laid down and curled up, right? It's all over.
I know you did. Yeah, this dude is incredible.
You know it's done, okay?
He's giving him no quarter.
All you've done is lay around in the fetal position since you've been here. That's not how innocent people act. That's not how people that are falsely accused of something act. It's the last thing they do.
It's possibly that it's freezing. I haven't eaten since noon. It couldn't be that this is all just a huge shock to me. No, it couldn't have been any of that at all.
It's probably all of that, but it's also the fact that you're involved in it. It's probably all of that, Mike. Okay, the fact that maybe you haven't eaten that much and maybe you are cold. There's no question. The first thing you said to me was you're cold and hungry. So that's why I grabbed you that stuff, okay? And I'm willing to accept that. Maybe that is part of the issue, okay? But there is a larger issue here, okay? And it's the issue of the evidence and the issue that you're involved in this, okay? And we can't change that. I have no
quarter, great song, you're not wrong. Have you ever heard the fucking Tool cover of it?
You don't upset me.
It does it justice. Okay? It's very cool.
The only issue I have is I don't fully understand. I volunteered here to come here and shoot the shit with you because I've talked to people in worse situations than you. Okay?
Me who would have ate the donut making me a monster.
You're not giving me hard time. You're not being rude
Straight
to
up,
me.
no matter how bad
So
I
I'll
do,
sit
if there's a
with you
donut in
because,
front of me, it's not going to be in front of me
but, you know,
long.
the reality of it is I can
Tell you
walk
that
away
much for free.
you're going to sit and deal with this on your own for the rest of your life. You're a smart guy. You're nobody's fool. You know the situation. You know you're in a tough spot. And again, this is your opportunity to say your piece. But you got some pretty serious explaining to do here, okay? In the big picture. Now, without me, if I just leave you here, you got some stuff that you need to explain. I've acknowledged already what my thoughts are of you, okay? I've told you that from the beginning, that this is out of character for you, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's why you don't want to talk. Because maybe you're thinking, oh, you know what, Chris, you're wrong. You know, maybe I've done this before. Maybe I plan on doing it again, all right? I don't think that.
I
But
need
I mean,
to
you could be
count
sitting
really
here
quick
playing
and
me, right?
march,
Well, how
or
would I know?
mark one of these.
Okay? I can tell you that I don't think that's the case because I've sat across from a lot of people. Again, that have been through stuff a lot worse than you. You made a mistake, man. Deal with it and we move on.
Fuck. God damn it.
I am concerned that you're just going to sit here and, oh, well, take a chance. Maybe I'll just leave it and it'll all work itself out. Well past that, Mike. This is not going to work itself out, okay? We're past that. You need to acknowledge what's caused you to do this. And I never said for a second that you went and took that kid from the school, because you didn't.
12, 13,
That kid was
14.
taken from that school, all right, by Terry and put in your car, okay? And you were there, and you were part of when the kid was driven to Guelph, okay, in the Home Depot. And then from there, the kid, into the demise of the kid.
Yeah, no quarter by
This is
Led
the stuff
Zeppelin,
we need to explain.
James Rocks.
Nobody can control your destiny now but you, okay? I can. I mean, I've already told you. I've already put my cards on the table.
Am I crazy? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
This is
I
your
was
chance,
crazy.
man. Do you not think you're going to feel better getting some of this off your chest as opposed to keeping it there forever? You know what I mean? I'll sit with you and do this. There's no issues with it at all. Like I say, I have no problem sitting with you, man. Why don't we just find a starting point and we'll do it?
18.
Because you're going to sit and stew forever. Sitting, oh, I should have said this or shouldn't I have said that, right?
19.
It's up to you. I mean, I've got situations where I wish I'd have told somebody something that I didn't, and I regretted it my whole life, okay? And it's situations with family members where
I
you
feel like
should
I'm
have said
fucking
your piece
this
or you
up
should have
already. I fucking hate working with
all
a
those
Jane.
But this is your chance to say your piece.
This dude could probably get me to
You and I
confess
should
to
take
shit I
that
didn't even
chance.
do, like
You and I should
straight up
just sit and
though.
have that discussion. How is it going to get worse, right? It can't. And obviously, to an extent, someone's put you in this position, right? And we need to deal with that.
You want me to tell you things I didn't do so I can get locked up for the rest of my life for this?
No, that's not. No, I don't want you to tell me things you did not do. No, I'm going to ask you a question. What's your biggest fear or your biggest concern now that you've been charged with this? What's your biggest concern here?
Losing my life.
Okay. All right.
I want to know what this girl Terry said.
Okay. She acknowledges that she.
I don't
she
think they
ran
have
for
to
it
tell you that, do they?
And brought her to your car. That it was your wishes.
21.
You sent her there with certain things that you were looking for in a victim, and she took her. And you guys drove on the highway and did the Home Depot thing, which I talked about. Left the Home Depot, went to a secluded area. You had sexual relations with Tori, and Tori was killed.
4. Hi, Kid 20. How are you?
This is your time, man. This is as good as it gets, unfortunately.
26.
All right, this is it. And I mean, I can get into more detail if you
27.
want, but in a nutshell, that's a polite way of saying what the allegations are. But if there's stuff, if there's other people here.
29.
What's happening, man?
30.
what's this process? What happens?
What happens next? After you and I are done talking, you go back to your cells. Tomorrow morning, you'll have what's called you'll be brought into court, and the charges will be read to you again, and there'll be a discussion.
Stiff.
To,
Me
get
too.
of
Me
custody
too.
For bail, and they may schedule a bail hearing to determine that.
I don't think they do. I'm reasonably certain they don't need to be honest about much of anything during an interrogation anyway. Yeah, I feel like they're incentivized to lie to you, anything to get you to confess, even if they don't think that you did it.
Big picture, you're facing these charges. The reality of it is we can just sit and deal with the issue here, just as easy.
I'd rather deal with this issue in court.
The suspect remains unyielding after 95 minutes of psychological pressure, so the investigators commence the next stage of the interrogation. They initiate the Mutt and Jeff technique, most commonly known in pop culture as good cop, bad cop.
Hey, Seth, how are you? Fine, for a sec? I understand Mike here wanted to see what Terry Lynn had to say. Mike, Terry Lynn's still speaking to my partner, okay? This is the girl you killed, all right? She's not missing anymore. She's dead. Terry Lynn was asked today if she wanted to call a lawyer 4 times. She said no, all 4 times. She went through 2 boxes of Kleenex. All right? She says on the 8th of April, Wednesday the 8th of April, 2009, at 3:30 in the afternoon, you drop her off at Pavey, south of Fife, south of the public school, where Tori walks out of. You tell her to get a girl, and you want her young. She walks up the street. You drive up to the old age home and you park your car. She walks up to Tori. Tori's nice to her. She trusts her. She holds her hand for a little bit. She walks up the street with her. Terry Lynn tells her about her little dog, gets her across the street to your car, opens the back door. Tori doesn't like it anymore. She pushes her in the car. You start driving. She says she's freaking out. She says she's worried about you. She's scared about what you're going to do.
44.
She says you guys hit the 401. You start driving to Guelph. You park outside a house. You go in for a little while. You come out with some drugs, she thinks. And you drive to the Home Depot. You park at the end of the parking lot. You tell her it's her turn to get out of the car. You tell her to go in there. You give her some cash because you don't want to use your debit card so you don't track it. She goes in there. She gets garbage bags like she's told to do, and she comes back out. Then you go driving, and you pull into a farmer's field, right across from a house, to the point where you're even asking her if anybody can see you. And what does she do?
8.
She says she goes for a walk.
49.
Because she doesn't want to see what happens. And then she comes back.
Why did this lady
Yes, in the
agree
front
to
seat,
do
and
this
Mike
for
was sitting
him?
in the back seat. And she's not liking what she sees. So she walks away again. Then she comes back, and you make her hold one of those garbage bags while you put some of your clothes and her jacket and hammer in the garbage bag. Then you drive to a gas station. She never sees Tori again. You drive to that gas station, you get out, you wash up, you dump the bag. You drive back to Woodstock. That's Terry Lynn's story, Mike. That's Terry Lynn's story while she bawls her eyes out.
40,
Through
50,
2 boxes
okay.
of Kleenex.
We're
And I ask her
we're
4
doing
times, hey, you
good.
want to call a lawyer? She says, I don't need to call a lawyer. I feel so bad about what happened. I just want to tell you all about it.
51.
That's what you're up against.
Terry Lynn's a liar.
Well, you're the only person that can tell us that, bud.
I just did.
You gotta be careful, though, Mike, because some of the shit she said is backed by not just video but other evidence, but also some of the explanations that she gave as well
54.
are verified. That's a little more graphic than I said it, but
55.
yeah, there is some stuff that she says that is true. There's no question. I'm not gonna sit and say it's not. But
How old are you, Mike? 28 years old? You want to tell us your side of the story? Get rid of your fucking security blanket and start being a man.
7.
Because it's not going to be her semen that we find on her body.
8.
When we look at the areas underneath the parts of the seat that you cut out, we're going to find her blood.
59.
Do you know how blood works? You know about red blood cells, white blood cells? White blood cells are thinner. They look like spit when they're separated from red blood cells. They're the ones that seep through into the foam. That's what we get the DNA from.
I was about to
Skin
ask that
cells
too,
from her
Doxy. I'll
rubbing up
never
and down
understand
against
two
your
things.
seats
How someone can
in
do
your
that,
car.
and two, how someone could agree to help. Yeah, it's insane.
Tori Stafford
And
is
yeah,
all
crochet
over
hyphen
your
deed. I
car.
fucking love crocheting. Kid 20, I don't mean to ignore you.
All
I'm so
over it.
sorry. I'm just counting over here.
And Terry Lynn explains everything that she knows we're going to find. You're explaining nothing. So I don't give a fuck if you say one more word and tell you the truth.
All right, we're done then.
Well, I'm done with you anyway.
Okay.
This officer here is trying to understand what the hell you're going through. I don't care.
Who are you?
I'm the lead investigator here. Okay?
Terry
Oh,
Lynn's
that was
full of
good.
shit.
Well, that's going to be a funny thing for you to say in court, isn't it?
No.
Because how's the DNA going to be full of shit, Mike? Huh? How's the biologist from the Center for Forensic Sciences going to be full of shit? How's the pathologist that examines her body going to be full of shit? Explain that to me.
61.
I'll be careful, Mike, that's a dangerous road to go up. If there's something you and I can clarify with what you said, then let's clarify it. But we can't just sit here with a blanket statement that she's full of shit, because there is something that's truthful. And then by you saying that takes away your credibility. So we gotta be very careful with that.
4.
I'm done with him.
Yeah.
This officer's got his job to do, Mike. He's got a different job than I do. For my investigation, you keeping your mouth shut is the best thing can happen. So keep on keeping it shut.
Okay.
66.
The theory behind good cop, bad cop is known as the fear, then relief response. It's believed that when the immediate shift
7.
from one emotion to the next is so extreme, a suspect can become disoriented, and their ability to think critically can be
68.
affected. This specific state of disorientation
feel
makes
like that
compliance
can't
more
be
likely, as the
true.
rapid change of emotion can evoke the feeling of uncertainty, and a
69.
suspect's positive response to an oncoming request is a form of coping with this uncertainty. This is of course not a guaranteed system, and a suspect will not always respond in the desired manner.
Well, you know more than I told you.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite as eloquent as I would have put it, but anyways, at the same time, what he's saying is right. Like, I didn't
70.
watch what she was
Here's the
saying.
thing, this fuck is only upset because he got caught. If he didn't, there would have been more dead children. I can't believe for a second this guy has any remorse for what he did. Agree. Like if he's just sitting here, not acknowledging it. I don't know. Feel like people who are sorry confess.
There's stuff that was said that by her saying.
But I could be wrong. Like, I don't know everything. I just know that when I feel guilty about something, that I can't even begin to resolve that guilt until I talk about it.
But like I say, I have no issues on that. That doesn't change my opinion, our discussion, to be quite honest. I mean, they got their opinions, and obviously they're getting sick of listening to me, so they come in and said their piece. But like I say, I've got no, I'm not pissed with you. So
2.
not, but like I say, this is your chance. This is your chance to say your piece.
73.
I'm sitting here willing to listen to it.
Well, he just told me not to say anything more, so.
That's up to you. So you don't say anything to him.
That's what
but
he said, though.
He
So
doesn't want you to talk to him, but that's fine. I'm still interested in listening to you.
75.
You want to talk about the part of the school where she's grabbed?
76.
We can discuss
What case
that
is
and
this
see what
again?
thoughts are there.
Tori something. I can't remember her last name, but his name is Michael Rafferty. And it is all kinds of fucked up.
Why?
because of the officer, because of what the lawyer said, and
77,
that was
I
everything.
think.
I just don't.
71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, yeah.
What do you think's going to happen next?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
78,
Someone runs in here and starts barking.
79.
You just want me to say whatever. You just want me to say things.
80.
So it's open and closed.
No.
So it's over and done with. That's it. This is how it is. Nothing more to talk about.
No, actually, because actually that's fair. That's a very fair statement, actually. But I got to tell you, in this case, it's not. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm compelled and I'm interested to listen to what you have to say. But does it open and shut this case? No.
I'm done.
different angles and all that.
I just don't feel comfortable talking about it.
86.
So you're prepared then to just leave it like this and you're gonna ride it out from here, see where it goes?
Yep.
You think that's the best way to do it?
I don't know. I've never been in this chair before. I don't know.
7.
Any
That
questions?
was a very tight stitch. This one is too. Jesus. I'm not this bad at crocheting. Why is this happening? 88. 89.
Need something to eat?
90.
Yeah, but you don't care if I need something to eat.
Why would you say that?
Because you don't.
I wouldn't ask if I didn't care.
You're here for your job.
Nope. I could have walked out. I don't have to ask you because you got a phone right here, right? But the reality of it is, I know that you're gonna go back and sit and sleep or do whatever for a while, and you'd be better to do it on a full stomach. That's all it is to it, man. But I don't have to ask you if you want food, but I am prepared to get you food.
So I
That's
can
reality.
eat, and then you can say, "Oh, look, he had an appetite. This is how he must have been feeling. Oh, he drank his tea. This is how he must be feeling." Forget the fact he's just starving and.
You're reading too much into it, man. No, that's not what it is at all. I offer you something to eat because if you're hungry, you can eat. I don't care if you eat it or not, right? I mean, it's up to you. It doesn't matter to me if you eat or you don't eat.
And that doesn't go in anywhere in any of your reports.
What's that?
That I ate or not ate.
No, because it's on the video. It doesn't matter if you eat or not. I don't have to write any report. My report doesn't say if you ate or not.
Oh my God,
My
I
report
fucked up.
says what we talked about.
Jesus
This
Christ,
is a very
I suck
intriguing
at
moment
everything.
of the interrogation, as the
Whatever,
suspect's
that's
state of mind
90.
seems to be
We
in two
can
places
make
at
this
once. He is
work. We can make
undoubtedly clinging
everything
on to hope, made evident by his outright refusal to admit involvement. Yet he still has situational awareness. He knows deep down that his act isn't being bought, giving reason for his guilt in requesting food. He would have been starving at this moment, yet his primary concern was how he would be perceived while eating. He is caught between wanting to satisfy his hunger and trying to appear so guilt-ridden by the circumstances that he doesn't even care about his hunger.
No, I don't think so. It's your appetite at this point doesn't matter, really. I come in here, I sat to explain to you what the evidence was, had a discussion. Actually, I don't think there's any animosity between us. So we had a discussion about what the case facts are, and that was it. So it doesn't matter to me if you eat or not, but it was a legitimate offer. If you want something, I'll arrange for you to get it. There's no issues that way. But
92.
you read too much into it, man.
93.
Do you want something to eat?
94.
I need something to eat, yes.
Alright. I'll get you something to eat. Look at me. Take it easy.
95.
In reality, no food was coming. The suspect had it right when he stated that the investigator didn't care about his hunger, and he wasn't about to go out of his way to get a takeaway meal for a child killer. The Mutt and Jeff technique, although very well executed, was
97.
unsuccessful on this occasion.
Another tight ass stitch here. Fuck.
I'm a pretty get down to the facts kind of guy. I'm sure
98.
you've realized that from our brief encounter earlier, right? This is not rocket science.
99. This one's
Got what Terry
100.
Lynn has told me this afternoon.
Everybody party horn emotes in chat. 100th stitch.
This is your opportunity, Terry Lynn,
Let's
sitting
do it.
right here. Tell us she's a liar. You've had no problem at saying it without her in the room.
Terry's a liar.
That's what you're hoping.
102.
I'm not even looking at her.
I don't need to look at her.
103.
Yeah,
Why is everybody in
mm.
blankets? he's pretending to be too sick to talk, and
See, Mike,
she like actually
you know what?
is really, really upset.
Okay? And I'm not gonna.
Hi,
I'm not
Earth.
Gonna pull any punches here,
Earth.
Okay? I'm not gonna try and kiss your ass. All right.
Detective Smith's behavior in the following moments
I'm
is
so
not
sorry.
associated with any techniques
Er,
nor
the real
strategies.
heiress?
He knows the suspect's inclination
ER,
is
the real
virtually
heiress?
set and unlikely to be influenced any further from this point
Ethereal?
onward. The following onslaught doesn't have any
Ethereal
tactical
heiress.
purposes related to the investigation.
That's what it is. You're
The detective has
ethereal heiress.
understandably become
Welcome.
emotionally
Everybody
invested
make
in
sure
the case and
ethereal
proceeds to
heiress
give the
feels
prime
welcome.
suspect the psychological
And we
grilling
are
he
making
deserves.
a ballerina top. I posted a link to it before, but I will see if I can do that again really quick.
Who killed an 8-year-old girl?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. And I know the guys from behavioral sciences. They got their thing. They're trying to understand why that's what they do.
You guys all work
There
together.
you go.
Yeah, we do. They're good people. They know their job very well. And sure as hell, I'd like to know why. Right? I'd like to think that we don't have people walking around our communities who just because they're bored on an afternoon say, hey, why don't we grab
Express
that
the
girl
rage we all
and
feel
rape
for
and
this little
murder her?
girl. Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to think that we live in a
But
community
you're talking about
where
how he's
people
crying
think a
because
little
he's
bit more about what
mirroring
they're
the
gonna
little
do
girl's
now.
emotions because he feels
You
that
think
the
you're coming
appropriate
off as an
response,
innocent
yeah.
guy? You think you're looking like somebody who's
After a quick Google, it
wrongfully
seems like she just wanted to hurt a child. McClintock suspects she delivered the killing blow with the claw hammer. And she said she was the one that wrapped the girl's head in a garbage bag. Jesus. She also said that as a child she once microwaved a dog.
I know, Mike. I know.
So this just
Simply
sounds like
say-
two sociopaths
But
that met
doesn't
up and
make you
eventually
innocent,
made a
man.
plan.
That makes you a man
Jesus.
who's saying, holy fuck, what am I gonna do now?
Jesus.
Nothing I do is going to change your opinion. So I might as well just follow the lawyer's advice.
Well, you're right there, Mike. Nothing you do is gonna get you walking out of this police station tonight without being charged with murdering Tori Stafford. You're right.
All right.
You know how much media coverage this has. You know what the newspapers are going to do with this and to your family tomorrow. Okay? You think the cops are going to be talking to everybody you ever spoke to in your life? That's nothing compared to what the media is going to be doing. This is a huge story for them. This is the next Paul Bernardo. Whether you like it or not, a girl and a guy kidnapping an 8-year-old girl and murdering her. That's one of the most sensational things that have happened in this province since Bernardo and Carla. It's going to be a frenzy, and you and I both know that.
108.
You know what a psychopath is, Mike?
I have never met one.
I just met one tonight.
I just find it funny how you can go full sure on something when you don't know.
Well, Mike, when somebody tells me that they were present when a man killed an 8-year-old girl.
Somebody told you that.
She did.
Okay.
When that happens, okay, we don't say, oh well, maybe after we go golfing for the week, we'll go and see Mike and see what he has to say. That's not the way it works.
No, so let's just pick him up and then say, yep, you did it. Because that's obviously got to be the right way to go about things.
It somehow got twisted and I'm so upset.
So
The weirder
the
part
last
about
thing I
her
cover off
is
with
not
everybody
that
I
she
talk
did
to in
it, but that she
situations like
seemed to
this
show
one, it's pretty
remorse
straightforward.
and just straight up pled guilty. That's so weird.
Rodney Stafford and Tara McDonald have to be notified about this. Okay. First question out of their mouth is going to be, what?
Yeah, his attitude is it stinks to high heaven.
Did they say why they did it?
I'm sure one of those two will have the answer for you, why somebody would do it.
Oh, it didn't get twisted. Just this fucking stitch is ugly as fuck.
It doesn't matter.
We're good.
You're gonna talk to them anyway.
So sorry
No, Mike,
about how
if you're gonna
stupid
claim
and
you have no
awful
involvement
I am
whatsoever,
at
don't play games with
crocheting
me
and knitting.
throw out little hints and
I'm
see
sorry,
what-
everyone.
There's no game, there's no
Okay,
hints.
there's nobody involved in this except for you and Terry Lynn.
so hard to work with such delicate yarn when you have big fat meat fingers.
We're done.
Is that what you said to Tori before you killed her? We're done?
Funny man.
Funny man. That's what you think this is funny
I
man?
think you're a funny man.
I think you're a cold-blooded killer. Because you and I haven't spent too much more time now than you forced Tori Stafford to spend in your car. You could have let her out anywhere along that route.
I'm glad he didn't waste the time, but why didn't he ask for a lawyer? Jeez, yeah. What a fucking idiot. Maybe she just thought that if she threw him under the bus hard enough and agreed to a guilty plea to conspiracy murder, they wouldn't go after her for murder.
An 8-year-old girl.
And she might be free after a decade or so. Yeah,
turned
maybe.
on by it, that before he kills her, he has to have sex with her. So if you ask me why I'm sitting in this room, I'm sitting in this room for Tori. Making you squirm. Putting you through some of the grief that you put her through. That's why I'm in here, Mike. And I'm having a good time. You are a sick puppy, Michael.
Sick puppy! Who calls somebody that?
8 years old, buddy. All she wanted to do was go home, have a little party for her friends because her mom just redecorated her room for her. That's pure evil, bud. And that's exactly what the judge is going to see.
What is happening to me?
That's what you are. No remorse, no empathy, no nothing. You're just hollow.
You guys, I'm so fucking mad. Why is this happening
You're
to
gonna be
me?
spending a good chunk of your life is they actually have glass cells. So you and Bernardo can make googly eyes at each other all day, whatever you guys do in there.
I think she is ill and truly tormented by what she did, which is karma. I
Enjoy the
hope
rest
so.
of your life. This is the kind of room you're going to be spending it in.
Okay, so here's what's good. Before tomorrow, I'm going to
And it was all for this little girl right here. Not just Tori, but for every little
Full
child
on
in
have
Canada that doesn't deserve what happened to
these
her.
2 rows done. I'm so upset right now.
Michael Rafferty has been found guilty of murdering, kidnapping, and sexually assaulting 8-year-old Tori Stafford. It's been nearly 10 very long weeks of trial in London, which is where Laura Zilke has been covering this story since the very beginning.
In the courtroom, when the verdict was read out, there was a collective sigh of yes for each time one of those guilty verdicts was read out through friends and family. That came with the reading of each verdict. Guilty of first degree, guilty of abduction, and guilty of sexual assault. Lawyers from both sides of the story came out to speak with us as well. Their reaction, everyone
I'm just going to have to
appreciating
spend
that justice
tonight
was
getting this
done
perfect
here,
because
and
it is
every
not
one of them
working
also
when I have to
thanking the
hold
work
it out
that the jury had to
here
do for having
with
to sit
yarn
through
this
case. But
delicate
as you mentioned, Carolyn, almost
and
10
my
weeks.
eyesight being so shitty and me just like being
The
uncomfortable.
trial is finally over, so that's a good thing. But the verdict means that the jury has found.
Carolyn, I'm
Michael
so
Rafferty
happy.
kidnapped,
I'm happy that
sexually
people are
assaulted, and murdered
enjoying
Victoria
the
Stafford, and
craft
our thoughts are
circle
with Victoria's
streams.
family.
It's been fun.
For you to take cases like this.
It's never easy, but honestly, I mean, somebody has to take them. It's I get asked that question more often than almost anything else. How can you do a case like this? How can you defend such a person? The reality of it is that everybody in our system deserves a strong, proper, and effective defense.
Even before going into the
truly
courtroom,
believe
there was really
that.
a sense of excitement. I think a lot of the family thought that because the verdict did come so quickly, just over a day of deliberations, they truly believed that this was going to be a guilty verdict. Then going into the courtroom, that simply
Immediately, the quality of this is
relief
so much
that
better.
went over this, it was really almost unbelievable to hear.
Hi, Victoria. How are you? It's good to see you.
Carolyn.
Both Michael Rafferty and Terry Lynn McClintock were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for 25 years.
I feel like that's a pretty fitting punishment for, I mean, as far as what's available. Really do wish that there were ways to rehab stuff, but there isn't. Anyway, I am so sorry that it was such a short stream and that it was uncomfortable and stuff was hard. I promise that I will come in tomorrow refreshed and better. It was a terrible weekend and it's been a weird day. I'm really sorry. I'll be ready to crack on from row 3 of the ballerina top tomorrow, and I will have planned content instead of us like having to just randomly choose stuff. I am going to run an ad while I find somebody to raid here. I would love if you would all put whether you're an ass or tit man in chat. Just so that, you know, you're nice and interactive and the robot counts you and takes you on our raid. I love you all for the support. Thank you very much to my patrons, Quinn, Laura, and Katie. I appreciate you so much. Also, Quinn, thank you. He's our new one. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that will do it. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitch. I have a Patreon. I meant follow me on Twitter. All that stuff. Have a good night, guys.
Didn't you tell